Yeah, sure, no problem. Okay, for selling 𝐿Guard, I found this a good technique is when you turn on the Audi 9100, turn it long actually. Let go the sound, keep beeping, about 5 to 10 minutes. So how do you feel?
5 to 10 minutes. Wow.
Yeah. So normally you feel very irritating. So be it actually. Then we get the customer or prospect to power up the 𝐿Guard actually. Suddenly, it's very beautiful, peaceful actually. And I found this is called emotional, sharing, and it really helped.
Oh, thanks for that, Anthony. So basically, you make the customer irritated, or irritate the customer. Yeah. But how does selling the 𝐿Guard compare? Is it more difficult to sell 𝐿Guard, or is it easier to sell the 𝐿Guard compared to the 𝐭𝐞𝐞 machine?
𝐿Guard, if you ask me rather than it moves very fast, you just show them the radiation, because radiation, I believe everyone know about radiation, but they do not realize that low-level radiation actually is a silent killer. It's slowly killing you actually. When you expose yourself 7-24 hours, the next 5 years, the next 10 years, it really bad impact. Just like a smoking, you smoke 1 day, 1 month, nothing happen. But continuous smoking for the next 5-10 years, you'll see what happened. And then we show them the documentation, WHO, PubMed, all these documentation is already is in the press release, like WHO 31st May 2011 press release. Carcinogenic, cause glioma. Glioma is brain tumor. And all these, and we know the importance of prevention is better than cure. You know radiation is no good, and now we have a device to prevent it, to protect your whole family member, right?
Okay, Anthony, I think you missed my question. How does selling the 𝐿Guard compare with selling the 𝐭𝐞𝐞 machine? Maybe if I can be more specific, right? So since the launch of 𝐿Guard since it was introduced to the 682-3, right? Are you okay to share with us how many group sales has your team done with the 𝐿Guard devices compared to
for the past? Yeah, since the pre-launch, until yesterday, we managed to about 60 over units.
Wow, awesome. Congratulations, Anthony. Right?
I found this 𝐿Guard, right, is very easy to share the customer the value. Again, it's the same thing. What we share is our approach not to sales. Our approach is to share with them the danger of low-level radiation and show them this is a really effective solution, how this device alleviate the radiation, and to see the value, and then let them make a decision. Sometimes when we do the demo, don't talk so much also. Pause, let them think, because their mind also like processor. They need to think and process. Then they will tell you they want the 𝐿Guard.
Okay. Right. Okay. I'd like to just hear the distributor sharing. What is your perspective? How do you see 𝐿Guard going forward? Let's say, how do you see 𝐿Guard compared to 𝐭𝐞 machine in the next 6 months to 1 year? Would anyone like to volunteer? Yeah? No one? Actually, maybe I can share my perspective. Okay. The 𝐿Guard, 𝐿Guard. Okay, 𝐿Guard. I was just talking to John Lim this morning. John, if you can recall, I was having a chat I was messaging John Lim, who is also in the Zoom room today. I asked John Lim this following question. Let me just call it up. I asked John Lim. Okay, let me get to the point to make it short. There are various markets for the 𝐿Guard devices. and I broke it up into 5 different markets. Okay. The first market is our active 𝐭𝐞 distributors. That's number 1. Can somebody just type this out as I say this? So there are 5 market segments for the 𝐿 devices. 5. Can somebody help to just type this out? There are 5 market segments for the 𝐿 device. Can somebody help to type that? So I label it as A, B, C, D. Thank you so much, Marie. All right. A is active, our current active 𝐭𝐞 distributors. Can somebody type that? A, active 𝐭𝐞 distributors. Now B, 𝐭𝐞 distributors who are, thank you, John. John, what John did was just copy and paste, copy the chat from the, and that really works. So basically, I have dissected the 5 markets for 𝐿 devices. First are our active 𝐭𝐞 distributors. Second one, B, the 𝐭𝐞 distributors who are at standstill for some reason. All right, maybe they encounter some challenges. So those are the one. So now C are our 𝐭𝐞, our current 𝐭𝐞 machine owners who never started the business. All right, and there are many of those. D are the prospects who have seen our demo, but they didn't end up buying the 𝐭𝐞 machine. And E are new prospects whom we have not shown a 𝐭𝐞 demo to. Okay. Now I would like to ask everybody here, and I would like to get your participation. Okay. Just type in there A, B, C, A, B, or A or B or C or D or E. Which customers do you want to speak to right now? Can we have your participation? Just type it into the chat box. Out of the A, B, C, D, E, which customers do you want to speak to for yourself? And you want to encourage your team to speak to. Okay, we are getting some rest. Only 3 responses. Where are the rest? Okay. Now they're coming in. All right. Okay. They're still coming in. Right. No right, no wrong answer. Okay. I just want to highlight something. Okay. You want to, in my opinion, I want to speak to all of them. But let me ask all of you this. Then my next question, very important. My next question is very important. Which is the biggest market of them all? Which is the biggest market segment of all? Which is the biggest market segment? A, B, C, or E? Which is the biggest market segment? All right. Actually, in my opinion, the biggest market segment is E, because the market for 𝐭𝐞 machine compared to other multi-level marketing products out there, it's small because our entry cost is very high. So a lot of people just close, they don't even want to blink an eye. They just refuse to see the possibility of 𝐭𝐞. All right. However, with 𝐿, which is selling for about 40% of the selling price of 𝐭𝐞 machine, this is going to rock the world, in my opinion, because the entry price is so much lower, and the product is as amazing as a 𝐭𝐞 machine. Now, one of the common mistakes, I feel a lot of people who are in 𝐭𝐞 now, right? They're just thinking about the 𝐭𝐞 customers, the 𝐭𝐞 distributors, just focus on them. I think that would be a great mistake. Yes, you want to also encourage your 𝐭𝐞 distributors, get them to understand the potential of this product and this business, all right? Because those are their existing team. You want to leverage on them. They are important. You must make it known to them that, hey, wake up, 𝐿 is here. I know that because I know many of the distributors, right? They still have not woken up to 𝐿. That has been my personal experience. I've seen some distributors, they are still not waking up. They haven't got their 𝐿 devices yet. So they've not realized the potential of 𝐿 yet. So if that can happen to me, it can also happen to you and your team members. So it is your responsibility to bring this message to them. All right. And the other thing is to get them to also consider outside of 𝐭𝐞𝐞 market. So all the markets there are important, A, B, C, D. John, can you please share that A, B, C, D segment again for the benefit of all? Okay. So so that much I want to share about my perspective. Anyone else want to share the perspective of the 𝐭𝐞𝐞 business? Please feel to. What do you think of the what do you think of this 𝐭𝐴 business going forward, Anthony?
I think 𝐭𝐴 business just like a smartphone or iPhone. Eventually, we end up every home, everyone need it, without any question asked.
Right. Okay. Great. Thank you. Okay. I mean, the same as the 𝐭𝐞𝐞 machine. Just that the 𝐭𝐞𝐞 machine, because of the price, not everybody. Some people they're having a resistance in buying the 𝐭𝐞𝐞 machine. All right. Thank you so much, Anthony. All right. So can I ask? Maybe can I ask Jonathan? Jonathan, are you okay to come on to share your perspective? You can unmute yourself. You have to unmute yourself, Jonathan Lim. John Lim.
Yes, Sam.
Hi, let's welcome John Lim. John Lim is from Manila. John Lim is a 682-4 distributor from Manila, the Philippines. Good to have you.
All right.
What do you think? How do you see the market for the 𝐭𝐴 device?
Yeah, huge. It's a huge market, definitely.
Right. Yeah.
We're excited for the launch here in the Philippines.
Oh, currently it's only available in Malaysia. I think it'll be some time before it get to the Philippines. All right. So yeah, it's going to be massive. Thank you, John. All right. Okay, thank you. Anyone else? How about Judy? Judy, are you here? Yeah, here somewhere. I have to look for you. Mana are you, Judy? Can somebody unmute Judy? Is Judy? Judy, there you are.
I'm unmuted. Yeah, I'm muted.
Okay, go on. Yeah.
It's huge, Sam. Really, really huge. You can't run away from Wi-Fi. And in the last few years, you know, the usage of mobile, all the really super fast Wi-Fi network is gone up. So everybody needs it. Every home, every car, every children, you know, all responsible parent, when they see this, they cannot unsee, you know, what is doing to the brain of the child, to their, you know, their thyroid, to their reproductive organ. That itself, guys, the opportunity is limitless and it's global. Name, even a dog needs it, the plant needs it. So guys, cast your net. I'm just too excited, you know.
Thank you so much.
I know how excited I am.
All right. Thank you so much, Judy. How about Cora Lo? Cora Lo, do you have anything to say? You have to unmute yourself. Unmute.
Oh, I think I just type into the design that with 𝐭𝐴 we can revive the dead or half dead distributors, because I saw so many old distributors coming to the office the other day, and I'm so happy to see them back. There's some have even left the business for the last couple of years. And with Enagic, the good thing about Enagic is that even though you've left a couple of years, you're always welcome back. And I think that's very, very powerful. So let's use 𝐭𝐴 as a tool to get new people, old people back in. And at the same time, you know, those that come in for 𝐭𝐴 is great. Later on, when you see so much money, you definitely know that Kangen water, we can't do without as well. So our core business is 𝐭𝐴. At the same time, with good products coming in, we're gonna explode the world. We're gonna move people. Okay, that's all I have to say. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Cora. You're more than just another person on the stage like Mrs. Oshiro. So you know you can contribute a lot. Thank you so much. All right, Nicholas. Okay, over to you, Nicholas. Anyone else?
Okay, thank you, Sam. Yeah.
Okay.
Anyone else who want to share your business perspective on 𝐭𝐴 sales or 𝐭𝐴 market? 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. All right. Thank you so much for your time. And we're going to move into intensive training. David, Chung, Ming, are you guys ready?
Yep, we are ready.
All right. Okay. So, guys, we have muted your mic, and later on after the session, if you want to ask question, you can type it in, and we will read through your question, or Sam will ask you anything to ask. You can ask it later. So now, take a notebook, a paper, whatever you need, write it down some keyword. I'm going to invite David and Ming. They'll come and share with you intensive training on 𝐿 So any question, you can keep it later. So we're going to pass this session to welcome 𝐿 trainer, Mr. David Chung. David?
Okay, thank you guys. Thank you, Nicholas, for the warm welcome. How's everyone? Happy Sunday afternoon. I know this is Sunday, and yeah, I know everyone's actually sacrificing their family time to be here today with us in Zoom. Now, I promise everyone that, after today's intensive training, you guys will be getting massive, enormous value for this 𝐿 business. Okay, so now let's see what we have there. Let's share the screen. So we have actually designed this particular training based on our 5 years of experience with this technology. So we managed to compile everything we have here for you today. And it's actually through hard work and experiences. And we are trying to be simple, at the same time exciting. Okay, so in this training, we're going to create a lot of examples. We're going to create a lot of different case studies, experiences, hints, tips, for you to jot down. So it actually helps you to, when you do your 𝐿 business, when you show a demo to your prospects, then you got more clarity on what to say, what not to say, how to explain, in terms of scientific manner. And also there are some tips for you towards the end. And stay tuned towards the end, because we'll be playing you a very special video that we took last week. 𝐿 is currently being displayed in the Trade Exhibition Center. Okay, so it's actually one of the most prestigious exhibition hall in Malaysia, because it's actually run by Malaysia government. Okay, so it's displayed there nicely, and we'll be showing you that video as well. Okay, all right. So it's the share screen. Okay, it's on. Okay, now intensive training, 21st of May. Now, anyone here, you're ready to receive value? Can I see a number 1 on the chat box? Anyone here, you're ready to get value today? Okay, I want you to bring out your notebook, just write notes, take down notes. I'll be emphasizing certain keywords later when I say focus. This is the keyword that you need to jot down for your presentation, so just jot down the key points and you'll be fine. Okay, trust me, you'll be fine. And this is not rocket science. It's not that hard to do the business. You just have to remember some of the keywords that I've emphasized, then you're good to go. Thank you very much for everyone's response. Okay, all right. Okay, let's good to go. Now let's begin with steps to becoming an 𝐿 master. So basically over here, we have actually listed down, these are the topics that we're going to cover today. Hopefully we can end the session by 4:30 today. Okay, so first of all, I'm going to touch on back to basic, and we need to have this basic knowledge on how to answer. People will be asking you, what's 𝐿's function? How does it work? What is the benefit? That's very important, isn't it? When you invest something, $1,480, people need to know what's the benefit of 𝐿. Okay, then followed by, we're going to cover some of the commonly asked questions from customer. So followed by installation experiences. Ben, take note, the numbering, it's a bit off, 1, 3, 2, okay? All right. So installation experiences, then demonstration experiences, and last but not least, we're going to cover documentation as well, because like what Daniel Dimakali said, documentation beats conversation. Okay, so it's very important. Okay, now let's begin with the first topic, back to basic. So the first question, everyone's excited when you go out there, you want to talk about 𝐿 to your prospects. So people ask you, so what's 𝐿's function? What does it do? So how do we answer in a proper and scientific manner? Okay, so the proper answer is, the first tip is we need to know what is 𝐿's working range in terms of frequency. Okay, So 𝐴MGuard is built to suppress EM radiation. EM means electromagnetic radiation from 3 megahertz to 1000 megahertz. So that's the first keyword, okay? So 𝐴MGuard is built to suppress EM radiation between 3 megahertz to 1000 megahertz. So that's first key point, okay? Now, the second key point is people will ask you, so there's 3 megahertz to 1000 megahertz. What's the frequency designation? You know, how high or how low is this frequency? Okay, so if you look at this table below, okay, 3 megahertz to 30, it's categorized as high frequency. So it's within the high frequency family. Okay, then 30 to 300 is actually within very high frequency range. And of course, 300 and above, all the way to 1000, which is 1 gig, it's ultra high frequency. So to make things simple, we actually sum this as high frequency. So this is within the high frequency range. Okay, so 𝐴MGuard is suppressing the radiation within the high frequency range between 3 megahertz to 1000 megahertz. That is that simple. Okay, now next. Now, this is something that happens to us, you know. Now, many years ago, people asked us, this technology can cover radiation, means we can actually alleviate all radiations in the world. Okay, now this is incorrect. Okay, now in terms of size, radiation can be categorized into 2 categories. Let's look at the chart. Now, remember the pH chart we used to do demo in Kangen? Okay, we have got the acidic chart and also the alkaline chart, the pH chart, the colorful one. Okay, so for radiation, of course, we do have 2 sites as well, which is non-ionizing and ionizing. So today I'm going to just make this very clear. 𝐴MGuard is resolving the radiation on the non-ionizing segment. Okay, not everything, it's not everything under the sun. It's actually within the non-ionizing segment. So the next question is, what's the difference between non-ionizing and ionizing radiation? Okay, pretty simple. Okay, ionizing radiation simply means that this type of radiation has got huge, enormous amount of energy, and this radiation can directly impact or destroy your DNA. Okay, so that's ionizing. So we are not going to interfere with that segment because that segment is way beyond us. Okay, so today we are looking into non-ionizing. Now, do you see the 2 red arrows there? Okay, the 2 red arrows pointing down to radio and cell phones. There you go. Okay, so 𝐴MGuard is actually suppressing the EM radiation around that segment, okay, which is non-ionizing. Now, let's do a summary. Okay, so now when a new prospect asks us, you know, what's 𝐴MGuard's function? So the proper answer is 𝐴MGuard is built to suppress the non-ionizing radiation spectrum between the high frequency range of 3 megahertz to 1000 megahertz. Okay, let me repeat myself. Okay, 𝐴MGuard is built to suppress the EM radiation within the non-ionizing spectrum. Okay, and it's at the high frequency range between 3 megahertz to 1000 megahertz. So that's the complete answer for this question. All right, good to go. Next. Very good. So now when you do the demo, you know, we call it the 𝐷𝐷𝐾 because this particular detector beeps, you know, it creates that kind of sound, you know, 𝐷𝐷𝐷𝐷. So Sam calls it the 𝐷𝐷𝐾, okay? So now when we do this demo, it's magical, isn't it? After you turn on the 𝐴MGuard and immediately you can see this results and the detector is actually going back to ground zero. So now when people ask you, how come is that magical? How do we explain? How does 𝐴MGuard work? Okay, so the proper way to answer you is very simple. Now, a typical radiation source comes from electricity. As long as, you know, in your house, there is a power line or battery operated items like your cell phone. This is a cell phone, it's battery operated. So as long as there's electricity going through the circuit or the power line, it actually generates certain level of EM radiation. Okay, it's just that the EM radiation is actually stayed in the source itself. Okay, this is the source of radiation. But how does it really travel out? It's actually through waves, frequencies, noise. Okay, noise wave. Okay, now I'm going to show you a live demonstration by using a detector here. And in this live demonstration, I'm here to show you this is actually how the radiation travels out from the source, okay, which is the phone itself. Now I'm going to just turn on a YouTube channel using my phone. Okay. All right. So I'm going to have my assistant here, Ming. Ming is going to assist me in this live demonstration. So let me play a video quickly. Hold on, huh? Advertisement.
Which American muscle?
Okay. So as you can see, I'm holding my phone here. Okay. So when I scan my phone using the radiation detector, there you go. So it's actually picking up some of the reading, but the radiation will not travel all the way to my inner wrist. Okay, it will not travel all the way to my inner wrist. Okay. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to activate my YouTube channel, and my speaker is actually on full blast. And let's create some noise wave from my phone. Look what happened to the detector.
Is quickest in a drag race. Is it
Notice something?
ZL1 or is it?
The detector begins to beep now. Pause the video. There you go. Okay. Now what I'm going to do next is I'm going to turn my speaker off. Okay. I'm going to just turn my speaker off. Okay. I'm going to turn my speaker off. Now it's on. Okay. Turn the speaker off. Now I'm going to play the video again without the speaker on. So there is no noise wave. And if you notice the detector, there is no beeping, isn't it? Okay. So I'm going to do another quick one. I'm going to just turn my speaker up again.
But before we do,
You notice what happened?
through these cars. So I am
There you go. Look at this. It beeps again.
So this
Okay.
has a 6.2.
So this is a very simple demonstration. Thank you, Ming. So this is a very simple demonstration to show you that, a typical radiation source begins from here because the battery is powering up the integrated circuit from the phone. But when there is waves, when there is noise wave frequencies, it actually brings out the energy and it comes all the way through my inner wrist, all the way here, because our human body, it's a conductor. Okay, energy travels through your body as well. Okay, so now back to the slides, Ben. Thank you very much. So now everyone from Zoom, there is 171 of you. So now you understand that this is how a radiation travels out from a typical radiation source. Okay, so can someone help me to check whose speaker is on and just mute it?
Okay, I'm going to mute everybody, and then after that,
Yes, please.
you have to unmute yourself, David. Okay, done. You have to unmute yourself.
Right. Thank you. So that was a short commercial break, yeah? Short commercial interference break. Okay. So now we know that this typical radiation travels out through waves like this. So 𝐿 is built to analyze within the coverage area. That's the first thing it does, within 4-meter radius. Then it's going to send out a string of cancellation frequencies. Now in the patent, it is described as harmonics frequencies. So it's actually a string of cancellation frequencies, okay? And these frequencies, they have the ability to break the pathway, that allows the source of radiation travels out through sound wave, okay? So this is what it does. Now, next slide. So the next slide will explain to you clearly, this is how it works. Harmonics frequencies, also known as cancellation frequencies, have opposing amplitudes to their corresponding radiation frequencies in the air. Now, they suppress each other or cancel each other out altogether. So this is how it works, okay? So now I'm going to show you a next laboratory test, and this will give you more clarity in terms of how it actually reduce or suppress the radiation. Now this test was done in laboratory, okay? And what you see here is actually a graph where it measures from your left, it's 30. If you look at the bottom chart, there is a 30 mark there. So this is the frequency in megahertz, okay? Now, all the way to 1000 megahertz to your right. Okay, so this is actually the entire wavelength it measures. Okay, so before they turn on the 𝐿 technology, as you can see, the frequency wavelength from 30 to 1000 is constant. Okay, there is no breaking up all the way, if you notice the graph. So this is actually the average electric field intensity, okay, in terms of dBUM level. Okay. Now, when the lab engineer turned on the 𝐿 with a distance of 3 meters, if you notice on the top right corner, there is a distance stated there, it's within 3 meters. Okay, so it's airborne, airborne. So when they turn on this technology, I want you to see the next graph. Do you see something? Look at the difference. Okay, so now from 30 to 1000, there is a lot of intermediate breaking points. Okay, it's no longer one string of frequencies, but now there is actually it actually broke up into small, little, as you can see, dots or readings there. Okay, so the next graph will show you the comparison of before and after. So the top one's before, and the bottom is when we turn on the 𝐿Guard technology. It actually breaks off the pathway. Okay, so this is exactly how, like what we just described earlier on. 𝐿Guard is actually releasing a string of cancellation frequencies to decode or to break down the original frequencies pattern. So this is how we manage to stop the radiation from coming out from the source. We're actually clearing off the pathway, okay, for the EM radiation. So far, so good. Okay, so this is actually how it works. Okay, this is how it works. Now, next. So now, I know that, in the lab itself, we have the laboratory, so-called lab test, but it is very hard for new people to imagine how it works. So what we did was, my team and I, we have actually invented this method. We're using a software. We are bringing the lab tests, in terms of how it works in terms of suppressing the noise field. So we're bringing the lab test, and we are able to show it to you in this short video so that you have more clarity on how 𝐿Guard actually clears off this EM radiation. And there is this software screen there where you can see, okay, so it's graphical, and you can actually see the radiation pattern. When we turn on the LED lights, they can detect how the wave comes out from the LED, and when we turn on the 𝐿Guard, how it actually clears off the wave. Okay, so let's take a look at the video. Unmute, Ben, we need the volume. Please play again the video, and we need the sound for the video. Managed to get the sound on?
The camera is static. I think the jam really in the camera.
Share EPT sound. Therefore, in this section of the video, I'm going to show you how the 𝐿Guard technology has the ability to alleviate the noise field radiation created by this LED light bulb, and it can clearly shown from the software-defined radio frequency spectrum. Okay, now before I hook on the 𝐿Guard to the power source, let me just redo this on the spectrum of SDR. Okay, now when I turn on the LED light bulb, as you can see, obviously the wavy line from the noise field comes back. Okay, now when I power on the 𝐿Guard onto the power source like this, just to show you that the 𝐿Guard's on, there is a white light blinking here. Okay, there you go. So now the 𝐿Guard is on, and immediately you can actually see that the wavy line from the SDR disappeared. Now, as soon as I remove the power source of the 𝐿Guard, the radiation reading picking up from the antenna immediately returns to the SDR screen. Therefore, I'm going to do another control test by showing you by again powering up the 𝐿Guard again. Power on. So this is how the 𝐿Guard technology alleviates the power density radiation reading based on the simple software-defined radio experiment. Okay, so picture paint 1,000 words. Okay, so we managed to create this so-called software thingy to show you, in terms of visually, how it actually alleviates the radiation, from a simple LED radiation source. Okay, now next. So I think the next question is also very crucial. Okay, so now what's the benefit of 𝐿Guard? So this is the third question. in the back to basic segment. And this is very important because when your customer buy something, you know, pricing at Ringgit Malaysia 6620, they need to know how it actually helps them. What's the benefit? Okay. Now, the entire 𝐿 is built based on Dr. 𝐭𝐿 research. It is stated in the patent. Okay. The engineers, when they built this 𝐿, it is actually based on Dr. 𝐭𝐿 research. Okay. Now, Dr. 𝐭𝐿, you know, this lady on the left on the screen, she's a Canadian researcher, and she devoted herself, to research into how EM radiation actually, affects you biologically. Okay. Now she found something which is pretty shocking. Okay. Now she noticed that our red blood cell, when we live in an EMR environment free or clean zone, your red blood cell should flow individually like this. It's like a donut flowing, freely. Okay. But she discovered that whenever she exposed herself to, let's say, computers or phone, this is what happens. So she discovered that when she exposed herself to just 70 minutes of computer exposure, her red blood cell forms into rouleau formation, which is exactly what you see on the top left. Okay, 70 minutes of computer usage. Now, when she used a wireless cordless phone for 10 minutes, okay, and when she did another prick on her finger and take up some blood samples, she noticed that her rouleau formation went into a critical condition. And according to Dr. 𝐭𝐿's video on YouTube, she mentioned that this is normally what she sees in her cancer patient's blood or her diabetic patient's blood. Okay, so the red blood cells actually stacking up, Now, according to Dr. 𝐭𝐿's explanation, when our blood goes into such a formation, it actually creates certain symptoms or consequences. Okay, let me just read up some. Okay, so when our blood is at that condition, first of all, we get poor circulation. Okay, that's number one, followed by low oxygen transport. Now, why I highlight low oxygen transport? Because I'm trying to bridge you into a perception here. Okay, now I believe that for 𝐭𝐞𝐞 from the Zoom, when we do the 𝐭𝐞𝐞 demo, there is one particular slides we always share to our prospects, remember? Okay, Dr. Otto Warburg, he discovered the root cause of cancer and he won the Nobel Prize back in 1931. And there's two basic conditions, two conditions that cause cancer. The first is acidosis, followed by, thank you so much, I saw someone wrote there hypoxia on the chat box, very attentive. Okay, so hypoxia is the second condition which Dr. Otto Warburg described, that could be a root cause of cancer. And hypoxia simply means lack of oxygen in the cell. Okay, so when we deprive ourselves 35% of the oxygen for 48 hours, it may become cancerous. So when our blood forms into rouleau formation, hence it will lead to low oxygen transport, and eventually we're going to deprive ourselves from oxygen. So this is how EMR and cancer correlating to each other. Okay, so now from her research, when the four engineers, they sit together and they say that if, let's say, we can create a technology or a device which can actually suppress the EMR or the EM radiation, then can we sort of also prevent the rouleaux formation from happening? So this is their first initial idea. So they built this machine around this. Next. Okay, so this is actually the description from our patent. Okay, so in the patent itself, it says, it actually says something like apparatus. So they use the word apparatus without the word 𝐿 there. Okay, so it says that this invention, this particular apparatus, it helps improving microcirculation by suppressing and cancelling the negative effects of electromagnetic radiation from cellular phones and computers connected to wireless network. So this is actually the description from the abstract. Okay, from the abstract of the patent of 𝐿. Okay, now the next slide I'm going to share with you is actually the actual screenshot of the patent report. Okay, so now I want you to pay attention on certain points. Okay, this is a very important keywords that you can use during your explanation to your prospects. Okay, now I want you to notice that, just take the first very important line. Okay, now the beneficial effects of the apparatus, according to an embodiment of the present invention, is recorded by a blood flow measuring device. So meaning this entire test in the lab itself is actually doing through a blood flow measuring device. So this test itself, they are trying to prove that when you turn on the 𝐿 it has the ability to actually improve the microcirculation by first suppressing the negative effects of EM radiation. Okay, so I'm going to allow you to read the rest when you get the slides here, because it's, there is a lot of words here. I want you to just skip all the way. Okay, I want you to notice a few figures here. Now, the first figure, the first digit number, spot 6.13 centimeter per second. Okay, so 6.13 centimeter is actually the first test they did on the subject's finger before turning on anything. There is no 𝐿, nothing. Okay, 6.13. Now, when they invite the subject to hold on to the cellular phone, they notice that the microcirculation drops from 6.13 to 2.55 centimeter per second. So it's a drastic drop. Okay, so this is actually the drop after they hold on to a handphone or a mobile phone. Okay, now when they turn on the invention, which is 𝐿, I want you to see the last thing, 26.6. So eventually it stabilizes at, so this is actually the improvement marker that they capture when they turn on the 𝐿 technology on the lab itself, during the patent verification. Okay, so guys from the Zoom, I want you to stay focused on the last paragraph, because this last paragraph is very important. Okay, you can jot down notes. Okay, so it says that it can therefore be summarized that the invention can effectively, I want you to see that word itself is very important. Okay, the invention can effectively suppress the negative effects of electromagnetic radiation on microcirculation from either handheld cellular device, which is tablets, iPads, your phone, you name it. Okay, or computers connected to wireless network, something like your laptops. Okay, so it can effectively suppress negative. So this is the great invention, and this caught Enagic's attention. There's reason why Enagic gained, the global distribution right for this particular technology segment. And I have to say this, guys, in this world, besides Enagic, none other companies, they have this technology that's able to do what you just see on this patent description. Now that's powerful. Okay, that's powerful. All right. Okay, let's move on. Next one. So let's look at another clinical trial from another renowned doctor. Okay, from another renowned doctor. So this is Dr. 𝐿 and he's a famous ophthalmologist in Taiwan. So what he did was, when he first discovered this technology 3 years ago, he wanted to do a verification, okay, before he introduced this to his wife, because his wife is actually suffering from dry eye disease. So what he did was, he took the technology with him, and he invited 10 volunteers to participate in this particular clinical trial on this 𝐿 technology. Okay, now let me just brief you the profile of these 10 volunteers. So they are aged between 19 years old to 68 years old. Okay, so it's a mixture of female and male, 3 male, 7 female. Okay, so what he did was, he actually put them together. Okay, so the first stage, look at that, the first stage, okay, the first race ago. The first stage, when he do the pre-test, it was without any gadgets. There is no gadgets around. The subjects, they are not holding anything, no phones, nothing. They just sat there. And Dr. 𝐿 actually took the measurement of their eyeball microcirculation speed. Okay, the eyeball microcirculation speed. Okay, it's actually the blood flow of the eyeball itself. And the average reading they got from this test is at 20.1. If you look at the first rate circle, okay, first stage. So 20.1 is actually in the mean, which is the average reading out of the 10 samples he took. Now, stage 2. What happened is that Dr. 𝐿 invite 10 of his subjects to begin to hold on to their phone and to watch the screen, the mobile phone screen, for 30 minutes. Okay, so this is the next test. So after 30 minutes, he took another, circulation speed using a very special device, a machine. And he found out that the average microcirculation speed for all of his 10 subjects actually drops from 20.1, it drops down to 16.2 in terms of centimeter per second. Okay, that's the measurement unit for this particular test. Okay, Now, third stage. What he did now is he actually turned on the 𝐿 technology. Okay, he turned it on, and then he took another test, and believe it or not, 10 out of 10 of his test subject, the microcirculation speed for the eyeball actually went up to 25.9 in average. That's the average reading. And it is even better than the first stage, because during the first stage, there could be other radiation source besides the handphone. There could be other radiation source caused by the LED lights, you know, maybe there is a cell tower nearby, or maybe there is a power line behind the chair, stuff like that. Okay, so this is even better than stage 1 when they turn on this 𝐿 technology and when it alleviates the electromagnetic radiation below 1 gigahertz. Okay, so this is amazing. Okay, this is amazing. So this particular clinical trial again fortified that the benefit of 𝐿 is it has the ability to help improve microcirculation blood flow. So it tallies with whatever we have in the patent when they use the device to measure the blood flow on the finger. So this test, it's the circulation for the eyeball, and it actually matches with the test we did for the patent itself. Okay, so let me conclude chapter number 1, back to basic. The function of 𝐿 is to suppress the non-ionizing radiation within the high frequency range of 3 megahertz to 1000 megahertz. That's the function of 𝐿. Okay, so how it does it, you know how it does it, very simple. Okay, it releases a strings of cancellation frequencies to actually suppress or to cancel off whatever frequencies between 3 megahertz to 1000 megahertz. And the benefit of 𝐿, when someone buys the 𝐿, the benefit of 𝐿 is when it suppresses the EM radiation, it helps you and your customers and your family, you know, to improve your microcirculation speed. Okay, because initially your microcirculation could be slowed down due to Rayleigh formation when we're exposed to EM radiation. So the benefit of 𝐿 is to help you to regain, you know, speed of microcirculation, and then we can get more nutrients and oxygens to the cells. Okay, so this is how it works, and this is the nutshell of chapter number 1. So far, so good. Is everyone getting value? If you're getting value, can I see a 1 from the chat box? Okay. All right. Thank you, Justin Chiu B. All right. Wow. Look at the response. Very attentive. Thank you very much, everyone, for your responses. Okay. Now, at this point, I know it's heavy. You know, you've been through 3 questions. So we're going to take a short break. Okay. Maybe probably even to take maybe 3 to 5 minutes, maybe 3 minutes of a water break, so that you guys can drink some Kangen water, can go to the toilet. Okay. All right. Now we'll see you back here after the short 3 minutes break. Okay. Back to Nicholas.
All right. Thank you. Thank you, David. Thank you. Yeah. Remove the spotlight. And so we have a 3 minutes to 5 minute toilet break, whatever break. We'll come back here at 3:10. No, 5 minutes is 3:07. 3:07. 3:07, we're back here for the next session. So go for a toilet break, a coffee break, a tea break, whatever break. See you again in 5 minutes. Okay. All right. Welcome back, everyone. Welcome back. So those who just joined or joined late, we just finished our 𝐿 intensive training, and David Chang has briefed us through and very, very informative and very, very awesome. So those who have heard David and it's a benefit to you and it's awesome, you will learn so much, and you type an 8 to encourage David to continue to share more with us. Type an 8 if you have benefited just now. Well, David, you are the first one to type 8. You're enjoying yourself. Awesome. Yes, keep it up. Yeah, so many 8 to you, David. So you have done a great job. Awesome. So back to you for Q&A, David.
Thank you, Nicholas.
So do you have question? If you have question, those who question, I strongly encourage to turn on the camera and ask on the Zoom. And I will select those. I mean, we will allow you those who ask on the Zoom. Then the rest, second question, those who are typed. So we will focus on the one who asked on the Zoom. Is that okay? You ask on the Zoom. We want you to have an active participation. All right. So
Yes.
you can turn on the camera, David, and the rest. So you want to ask question, please wave your hand.
Okay, I have a question.
So,
I have a
Nicholas,
question.
sorry, Nicholas. Nicholas, sorry.
yeah, one by one.
I have a
One by
question.
one.
Nicholas.
Yeah, Dominic, is it? Can you say your name? We can't see you.
Nicholas,
I want the
Nicholas, there'll
camera
be a
to be on.
Q&A at the end of the.
Nicholas,
let
this is not a
David
Q&A session,
Q&A.
Nicholas.
Oh, sorry, it's not a Q&A. So David, what is this session now?
It's a commonly question. We have to explain the, yeah.
All right, frequently asked question, is it?
Yes, correct.
FAQ, frequently asked question. Sorry, guys. It's a frequently asked question. So sorry, David. Sorry, David. Okay, go ahead for your frequently asked question or commonly asked question.
Okay. Thank you, Nicholas, for hosting. All right. So guys, are you ready to come back? Okay. All right, from your water break and all right. So basically we have designed this particular segment, and you can actually do a self study during your free time, because we have already set down a few questions, common ones, and together we actually come together with answers as well. Okay, so these are some of the designs of the question, what's the coverage range and all that. So you can actually do a self-study when you download this file from the 𝐿 resources or the 𝐿 library. Okay, it is made available for you through our 𝐿 channel. So I'm going to take this opportunity to actually address 2 or 3 of the harder questions. And with this training, you get more clarity on how you can actually explain this. Okay, so let's go to question 2J. All right. So now the question is, what is RD9100 measuring? So for those new friends, just in case you're wondering what is RD9100, RD9100 is actually this device. Okay, it's actually this device, and it is labeled as RD9100. Okay, it's this device itself. It's the radiation detector, and 9100 is actually the model number. Okay, so people will be asking you when you do the demonstration, what is this thing measuring? Okay, now let's take a look at the answers. So the 𝐷910 is built to measure high frequencies electromagnetic noise. Okay, so it's built to measure high frequencies electromagnetic noise. So that's the function of the 𝐷910. Okay, and the bandwidth, what's the frequency range? Okay, it is measuring between 3 megahertz to 1000 megahertz. So this is the exact same range that our 𝐴MGuard is working on, if you notice. Okay, because out there in the market, there is a lot of different detectors and they're measuring way beyond 1000 megahertz. Okay, now we're talking about a range of maybe 3500 megahertz all the way to 6000 megahertz. And some detectors, they're actually measuring all the way up to 10,000 megahertz for your information. Okay, so the RD is very specific. The range is between 3 to 1000. Okay, now when you see the reading, from this screen itself, from the LCD screen, every time when you put the phone behind the ring and let's say there's a reading of 1500, 1645, so what does this reading represent? Okay, now there is a unit. Okay, so this unit is actually measuring in microwatts, and microwatts represents the power density of electromagnetic radiation. Okay, so this is the measurement unit. So for example, when you measure your body weight, you use kilogram, isn't it? Okay, when you measure the pH, the alkaline and acidic, you use pH values. Okay, so microwatts is actually a value we use to measure the power density of the radiation. Okay, so now the next video, we actually designed this particular video. Okay, so this video, we are about to show you what is the RD actually measures. Okay, as compared to a cheaper detectors out there, which we discovered that there's some detectors out there and they're actually measuring something else. It's either the electric field, from the power source, or the signal strength from the antenna itself. So there are a lot of different detectors out there. Okay, so this particular video will show you that that cheaper detectors, it's able to pick up reading from both the filament light bulb and the LED light bulb. Okay, and reason being is because that detector is built to measure the electric field, meaning as long as you turn on the electricity, it beeps. Okay, but 𝐴MGuard is different. Okay, this particular 𝐷910, which we used to do demos for 𝐴MGuard, is pretty different. Okay, so in this video, you're about to see the differentiation between the two detectors. Let's play the video.
Now in this quick demo, what I have here is a conventional filament light bulb, and let me show you what I mean by this detector is only measuring the magnetic field from the electric current rather than radiation radiated from the light bulb. Now, as I turn on the switch, as you can see, this detector is actually picking up about 300 power density reading from the socket itself. Okay, now when I turn on the 𝐷910, as you can see, obviously I'm trying to go around the light bulb, just go all the way in, as you can see, and RD shows the reading 0. Okay, means RD is not picking up any radiation reading as compared to this detector. All right, now what I'm going to do next is I'm going to switch this light bulb into the LED light bulb, and this is energy saving, and this is supposed to radiate more radiation compared to the conventional filament light bulb. Let me show you what I mean. So usually the LED light bulb is a bit more glaring, and as I turn this on, as you can see, it's very bright. Now this detector, it's also picking up reading from the light bulb. Okay, as you can see, there is no difference. As for RD, earlier on during the filament light bulb test, there is no reading, but as for this one, RD is actually picking up reading of about 1. Okay, that represents 2000 microwatts. Okay, so it's overloading.
Okay, so 𝐷910 is measuring the power density of the radiation instead of the low frequency magnetic field from the electric current. Okay, so in this particular video, you can understand that RD is unique because it is actually picking up the electromagnetic noise field at the same time. Okay, meaning this radiation is actually producing certain level of noise, but it's just that our ear can only hear noise between 20 hertz to about 20,000 hertz. Okay, that's your eardrum's capability. You can hear anything between 20 to about 20,000 hertz. But anything beyond that, for example, let's say it's tuning at 35 megahertz or 75 megahertz, your ear cannot pick up this noise. Okay, but RD is built actually to pick up the noise from the electromagnetic radiation and it's giving you value in terms of, microwatts. So that's the power value for that particular noise radiation. Okay, so far so good. So now the next question, why do we suggest using RD? Now, if you can find any other detectors who can pick up high frequency noise, and it's actually within that range, feel free to buy it and try it for your MGUT demo. Okay, and send your feedback to me as well. If you can get another similar model, I can see someone typing there are many industrial standards. As long as you can get the specs between 3 megahertz to 1000 megahertz, that's the max. Okay, at the same time, you have to find a detector that's actually measuring electromagnetic noise, okay, within the high frequency range. Then the detector is suitable for this particular demonstration. Okay, so the next question is, why do we suggest using RD instead of other detectors in the market? Now, as mentioned earlier on, we discovered that a lot of detectors, they either measure signal. Okay, now we have got these very expensive brands from German, and the detectors can go way beyond 6,000 ringgit. And some detectors, they actually goes all the way up to 12,000 to 18,000 ringgit. Those are very high tech detectors. Okay, now we notice that detector is actually built to pick up, okay, or to measure the signal strength from a cell tower. Okay, so a lot of detectors out there, they're measuring the signal strength coming in from a nearby antenna. Now, another type of detector, like what I just showed you earlier on during the demonstration, the video demo, is to pick up electric field. As long as you turn on electricity, you put the detector on the power line or on your gadgets, it beeps. It's actually picking up the low frequency magnetic and electric field, okay, from your gadgets. And there's another type of detector out there, the third type we discover lately. And this detector is actually built to pick up metal. As long as there is metal sensing, for example, your PCB board from your phone is built by little components, and if there is a detection of metal, it beeps as well. Okay, so there are different detectors out there, and in this short video, you get more clarity on what I mean. Okay, let's view the video together.
Okay, so in this section of the video, I'm going to show you the differentiation from different detectors available in the market and why some of these detectors you should avoid it while you're using it to do the MGUT demo. Now, cheaper detectors like this, it says electromagnetic radiation detector, but when you hook this emitter on, you can't even detect the radiation from a phone screen. So this doesn't work because this detector is only used to measure very low frequency radiation from the power socket. Okay, now another type of detector available in the market, electromagnetic field tester. Now this detector, we found out that this detector is only good at reading the signal coming in from the 4G or the Wi-Fi. Let me show you what I mean. Let me activate the meter here, and I wanted to put this meter below the iPhone. Okay, now as soon as I call up a program from the iPhone, for example, I'm going to turn on the YouTube channel. There you go. So now the detector is actually responding to the data received from the YouTube itself. Now, as soon as I turn this phone into the airplane mode, so I'm going to terminate the Wi-Fi and also the mobile data. Okay, so immediately when I turn it to the airplane mode, as you can see, you no longer receive any response from this detector. Okay, now however, as soon as I switch off the airplane mode and the data is back, the detector began to respond again to the signal from the phone. Now, why I strongly recommended RD9100 is because now even if I turn the phone into the airplane mode, means there is no data, there is no Wi-Fi, the RD has the ability to pick up the radiation from the phone itself, and now it's averaging at about 1,400 microwatts to about 1,500 microwatts. Okay, so in other words, RD9100 is not picking up any signal. Instead, RD9100 is actually picking up the power density radiation coming from the battery, okay, operated in the phone itself. Now, let me show you another detector in the market. This detector is what we bought from the USA and it's called the cell sensor. And supposedly this detector is able to pick up radiation from the cell phone. Okay, but now as soon as I hook up this meter, as you can see, okay, let me just put the meter on the table. Now, the phone, it's on airplane mode. As you can see, it's also picking up reading from the screen itself. Okay, now, but the thing is, we found that this detector is actually picking up and responding or reacting towards the metal part of the phone. Now, I'm going to turn off the phone. Okay, let me switch off the phone now. And let me show you what I mean. Now, as soon as the phone is switched off, if I use the regular RD, once the integrated circuit is completely shut down, the RD will get 0 reading because there is no more radiation source coming from this phone. Okay, because it's properly shut off and there is no power in the circuit itself. So everything goes back to 0. Okay, there you go. Alright, now, but for this detector itself, although the phone's already been shut off, you can still pick up reading from the phone itself. Now, the reason being is because detectors like this, they're actually picking up and sensing the metal parts from the handphone. For example, now in this handphone cover, there is one metal piece over here. As long as I put this into the metal, the detector is reacting against the metal but not the radiation. Okay? Alright.
Okay, so my team actually put this video together so that, you know, our 𝐭𝐞𝐞 family, when you want to get the detector for yourself and to actually do a demonstration, you can actually avoid making some wrong investments by just simply buying some detectors, you know, online and stuff like that. Okay, so by far, you know, we've been in this industry for more than 5 years, and by far RD is the most accurate in terms of to test the efficacy of the 𝐭𝐴MGuard technology. Okay, now next. So this final question in this segment is very crucial. And people always say that, you know, why does 𝐭𝐴MGuard alleviates radiation of 1 gigahertz and below? Because in today's world, we are talking about 5G, we are talking about 20 gigahertz, 50 gigahertz, we're talking about 300 gig. Even some people, they go all the way to terahertz, you know. So for the matter of fact, why do 𝐭𝐴MGuard focus on this particular range? Is there any reason, you know, that 𝐭𝐴MGuard actually harmonizes frequencies of 1G and below? So now, based on our research, you know, we managed to compile whatever you're about to see next. And this is very, very important. I'm going to say again, this material in this particular segment is going to help you in your 𝐭𝐴MGuard business. And this is very, very important. Okay, so I want you to take very close attention. Just pay close attention to what I'm about to say in the next 10 minutes. Now, we found out that from the Federal Communication Commission, which is the FCC from US, okay, it is stated in the bulletin, and this particular bulletin is actually the guideline for human exposure to radio frequency electromagnetic field. So that's the title of the bulletin. Okay, now according to the FCC, we discover that our human body has the ability to absorb RF energy, which is radio frequency energy, at some frequencies more efficiently than others. I want you to see the first 2 lines. Okay, the new FCC exposure limits are also based on data showing that the human body absorbs the RF energy at some frequencies more efficiently than at others. Whoa, this is something new to me. You know, when I first read this, you know, during my research some years ago, I didn't know that our body can actually absorb certain frequencies more efficiently than others, you know. And according to FCC, the range is, okay, I want you to look at the 3rd line, okay. The most restrictive limits occur in the frequency range of between 30 to 300 megahertz. Okay, so this is actually the range where your body has the ability to absorb the RF energy more efficiently than at other frequencies. Okay, so for your information, 𝐴MGuard is covering from 3 megahertz to 1000. Okay, so 30 to 300 is actually within the 𝐴MGuard's coverage range in terms of frequency. And we are built for this particular purpose. So far, so good. Okay, guys, if you're getting value, just press 1. Okay, on the chat box so that I know that you're getting value, you get what I mean, and I can proceed with the next very important slides. Okay, so now everyone now knows that, you know, this is actually the range, and this is why we need to target, because your body actually absorbs. Now, how come our body is actually absorbing the range between 30 to 300? Okay, what's the reason? Okay, next slide. Now, the next research I'm going to show to you is actually coming from India. Okay, and this engineer, he found out that, you know, our aggregate body, human body, you know, the organs frequency, they actually operates from between about 55 to about 90 megahertz. Okay, so that's actually the average human body organs frequencies. Okay, do you see that? Okay, now our brain frequency operates in between 72 to about 90 megahertz. Okay, our human body is averaging about 62 to 78. There you go, heart frequency. And you notice something. Do you guys notice something here? Our average body organ frequency, it's operating in between 30 to 300 megahertz. This is exactly the most restrictive limits that has been stated by the FCC, okay, from the US. Okay, now you understand why, okay? So why does our body absorb RF energy better? Okay, within this frequency, very simple. Now, based on resonance theory, the next video, you're about to understand that frequency of the same kind, they will vibrate each other based on resonance theory, okay? Meaning when you put, let's say, for example, when you put 68 and 68 together, they vibrate simultaneously, even without having to have any contact with each other. So that's resonance theory, okay? Frequencies of the same range, they vibrate each other simultaneously. But if let's say you put, let's say 75, okay, together with 68, it will never affect, you know, the vibration, okay? So this next video, it's a science teacher trying to show you how resonance works by using a tuning fork. Let's view the video. Okay, just in case you guys missed the video, right? I'm going to replay the video again because it's a short video. If you notice, right, the first tuning fork, it's 500 hertz versus another one is like 440, okay? So it's of a different frequency. That's the reason why the first video, the tuning fork, when you hit the tuning fork, it is not affecting the ping pong balls to vibrate on the other tuning fork, okay? Now, until the science teacher switch to another tuning fork, which is the similar frequency, and this is how it actually affects the vibration on the ping pong ball. Let's view again. Let's take a look at the video again, just in case for those who missed out. So 512 and 440, not doing anything to the ping pong ball. You notice? But when he puts 440 and 440, it vibrates like this. Okay. So now everyone here has got more clarity on why, you know, the most restrictive limits is actually between 30 to 300, because our aggregate human organs, you know, vibrates at around this range as well. Just imagine that there's this external frequencies coming from a man-made gadgets that's actually operating at 72 megahertz, which is the exact frequencies that your brain is vibrating. What's going to happen to our brain? Your brain cells is going to vibrate together with this external frequency, okay? And it is non-stop. Huh? Just bear in mind that this man-made frequencies is constant. You know, it's there 24/7, it's non-stop. And that's the reason why some people, they begin to develop, you know, unexplainable headache, you know, numbness on their fingers, unexplainable fatigue when they drive in an EV car, in an electric vehicle. You know why? Because when we absorb these frequencies, the energies from these frequencies around this range, your body has got the capability to take it in at its max. It is like a sponge, you know, it's absorbing at its max. So this is what's going on, okay? And 𝐴𝐻 is built to suppress the power from these frequencies, efficiently, so that you absorb lesser. Okay, you absorb lesser energy from this EM radiation source. So this is exactly why 𝐿 is there for you. This is exactly why 𝐿 is built for. And I hope that from this session itself, everyone here, the 160 participants in this Zoom itself, you get the total clarity of why 𝐿 is built. Okay, it's actually built for this particular function. So far, so good? Are you guys getting value? If you're getting value, please press 1. Just key in 1 on the chat box so that I get. Okay, very good. Thank you. Wow, you guys are very responsive. I see Judy, I see Matthew, Alice Song. Okay, all right, very good. Thank you so much for your spontaneous response. It is very encouraging for me and my team to proceed with the other subjects we have for you today. Okay, now I would like to invite one good-looking gentleman. His name is 𝐿. Okay, and 𝐿 will be here to share with you the next topic, and we call the next topic as installation experiences. Okay, so 𝐿 is a well-experienced 𝐿 as well. We've been working on this project for about 5.5 years. Okay, so let 𝐿 explain to you some of the tips, the do and don'ts when we do some installation, and also when we do the demonstration when it comes to 𝐿. Let's welcome 𝐿. Hi everyone, I'm 𝐿. Okay, so the next session we will be talking about installation experience. Okay, before I start this topic, may I know how many of you already have 𝐿 and you're doing demos outside? If yes, can you all type 1 for me so I can know? Wow, there's a lot of you. Okay. All right. So now in this session, I'm going to share with you all what is the do and don'ts when you all go out to do demos or even install at your own house. Okay, the first one. Okay, 𝐿 is a very sensitive product, and 𝐿 needs constant energy, or I would say a very stable electricity supply for 𝐿 to perform at it optimized. So for our recommendation, we always encourage you all to find a single power socket, like what it shows at the right-hand side of the picture. And try to not use extension socket, because sometimes when you plug 𝐿 on the extension socket, you may not know that maybe some of your family members, they don't know these 𝐿, and then they put another electronic appliances on to the extension socket, and it will affect the power supply to the 𝐿, and then your 𝐿 will not have the optimum coverage. So always remember to try to find a single socket if possible. Okay, so the next one. Okay, next one on 𝐿 adapter. As you can see from the picture, we encourage you to choose DC 5V 2 ampere to 6 ampere 𝐿 adapter to be used on 𝐿. Yeah, instead of compare to the left hand side and the right hand side, you can see for the adapter there's 2 types. One, they will have multiple output, like what it shows on the left hand side. Multiple output means that the adapter can supply a multiple voltage of electricity. Like for example, you can see from the picture, there's a 6V, 12V, 4.5V, 5V output on the left hand side, the black one. And compare with the right hand side one, the adapter, you can see there's only one single output, and there is 5 volt, 2 ampere. So that's the one that we try to encourage you to choose to use it on 𝐿, because the power supply is more stable compared to the left hand side adapter. Okay, next. Okay, on the socket as well, on the output, we also encourage you to always use the one output. USB adapter. It's because the same theory as the first question that just now we shared with you on the extension socket. It's the same theory. It's because of sometimes when you use 𝐴𝐵GUT, you place it on a multiple output, but then some of your family member, they might not know, and then they use the other output for their own use. That's the reason why we always encourage you to go for the first one. So you will get the optimum coverage on 𝐴𝐵GUT. And this is all due to the power supply issue. So we always remember 𝐴𝐵GUT need a very suitable power supply. Okay, next. Okay, for the USB-C cable, we encourage you to use the one that is inside the box instead of the one that you're having like maybe at your home or like because now USB Type-C, there's a lot of phones come with USB Type-C. But as you can see from the comparison, right, the one that we provided in the box on the 𝐴𝐵GUT is slightly a little bit longer compared to the normal Type-C cable. So that's the reason why sometimes if you use a normal Type-C cable to power up 𝐴𝐵GUT, it might not work, or maybe it might work, but sometimes if you see the light will be blinking a bit. So always go back with the one that provided in the 𝐴𝐵GUT box. Okay, next. Okay, electrostatic environment. As we know, static can we can say that static always they will affect some of the electronic devices. Like for example, static can also affect your television. So when you're doing installation that time, there's these two environment that you need to take note. Okay, the first one will be the mirror. If in your customer house there's a very huge mirror, try not to put 𝐴𝐵GUT on top of the table, like for example this scenario, because the 𝐴𝐵GUT, the mirror will reflect 𝐴𝐵GUT's performance, so you can't get coverage on behind, or maybe the coverage will become shorter. So always try to avoid putting 𝐴𝐵GUT in front of this huge mirror. The second one will be aluminum frame, or what we can say aluminum door. Some of the houses, they have aluminum frame in their window or their door. So aluminum frame will always they will collect static, they will collect static at the frame area, and then it will affect 𝐴𝐵GUT's coverage as well. So always try to avoid putting 𝐴𝐵GUT somewhere around this aluminum frame area, because static will affect 𝐴𝐵GUT. All right. Okay, next. Okay, for installation purposes, as you can see from this environment, there's a lot of computers around, there's a lot of electronical devices on top of the table. Always remember that do not put 𝐴𝐵GUT on top of this kind of table. Like for example, okay, for this example, do not put 𝐴𝐵GUT on this table. Is due to when you're having so many computers around this environment, right, there tends to be static charges around this area. So if you put 𝐴𝐵GUT on this area, it will affect 𝐴𝐵GUT coverage as well. So what we can suggest you is that try to put next to the room or next door, or maybe, or if you want to put at the same room, try to find somewhere that having lesser computer, like for example the table behind. There's no any electronic appliances at there. You can place your 𝐴𝐵GUT at that side. The ultimate motive for you to use 𝐴𝐵GUT is to have coverage on you, but not the computer. So try to avoid putting 𝐴𝐵GUT on this kind of situation. Try to put it somewhere else. Have a clearer table. All right. So next one, same goes to this area. This area tends to create static as well because you have so many cables around the floor and it will build up static. Some of the people, they might think, oh, okay, I've bought 𝐿𝐵𝐺, then I want to place somewhere. I don't have places to put. Oh, this is the only places that I can put. I have socket, then I put my 𝐿𝐵𝐺 onto it. There's a wrong place to put it because when there's static around, it will affect 𝐿𝐵𝐺 coverage as well. So you can always encourage your customer to put somewhere else beside this area, okay? Flooring is also the same because we can't see static. We can't see where is the static all around, okay? So flooring is also not recommended because flooring will sometimes accumulate static in some very particular area only. Sometimes you don't know where is the corner of your house that have static on top of the floor. So always try to avoid putting 𝐿𝐵𝐺 directly on the floor as well. So you can see from the picture, we suggest you to put 𝐿𝐵𝐺 on top of the box that come with. So the box is a cardboard box and it won't collect static. So you can put it on top of the box. Some of the agent also asked me that, why do we need to put 𝐿𝐵𝐺 vertically, not horizontally? Because this one is just for picture illustration purposes only. Okay, for some of you, if you think that putting it straight, it will be very dangerous because some of your house, you have cats, you have dogs, you have children running around, and sometimes they hit 𝐿𝐵𝐺, it will fall down, and 𝐿𝐵𝐺 is not drop proof, so you can put it horizontally also to make 𝐿𝐵𝐺 more safer. All right. Okay, next, we are going to show you static will not only affect 𝐿𝐵𝐺, but static will also affect detector performance. All right, if you can see from this video, we will show you later. This video will be showing you that even though you turn on 𝐿𝐵𝐺 and it's within the coverage area, but the detector still beeping due to there's a static at the particular area. So if you move away from the particular area, then it works. All right. So Ben, can you play the video?
OK， 现在我要跟你们解释一个典型的静电的这个问题。所以每次你看到你做 demo 的时候呢 ，𝐿𝐵𝐺 是 within 4个米哈，你看它的那个距离呢。可是 detector 响了，你们不要太过紧张，为什么呢？因为我的脚现在靠着的这个地方呢是有静电的，所以我们人是导电体嘛，我们会 absorb 那个静电，都导致到 detector 它响。可是你看啊，我做一个小小举动，我现在呢，我把我的脚移位啊 ，OK， 同一个地方，我的电话跟 detector 在同一个地方，我只是稍微的 adjust 一下我自己的身体移位，你注意看。当这个地方没有静电的时候呢，它就没有事情 ，OK。可是我回去有静电的地方呢，你注意看，看到吗 ？OK， 这个地方有静电啦 ，Go， 我移一下去一个没有静电的地方，你注意看，你那个它就没有响了 ，OK。所以这个是一个典型的解释，要跟你说，其实呢，有时候我们做的 𝐿𝐵𝐺 它是within 4个米的，它会响呢。𝐿𝐵𝐺 其实是有功能，只是有可能那个地板上面有静电，它会导致到 detector 它一下子会读到那个静电的 reading，OK。
Okay, I know that the video is talking in Mandarin, so I will translate to you all like what the video is going to show you. Okay, as you can see from the video, the detector is beeping, right? And the 𝐿𝐵𝐺 is within the coverage. So meaning that when David's standing at that area, there's a static on the floor itself. So our body, we are a very good conductor. We will absorb the static into our body. That's the reason why when you hold the detector that time, the detector beep, because our body have static and it will affect the detector. So as you can see from the video, even though we turn on the 𝐿𝐵𝐺, when David's standing on the particular position at the flooring that time, David's body absorb the static and affect the detector. So when David move slightly to the left side that time, as you can see from David's leg right just now, David moves slightly away, then the detector stop beeping due to there's no static at the particular area. And when David moved back to the static area that time, detector start beeping again. So don't panic anytime when you go to customer's house and do demo, and sometimes that particular area beeps. It may be due to that area that's static. So try to change your position. Move to your left, move to your right. Okay? So let's go back to the slide. Okay, just a minute. Okay. So next, okay, next, we are going to show you how static affect the detector also. So Ben, pass it to you. You can show them how static will affect the detector as well. Okay, so we can get my team member Ben, so he can show you a live demonstration on how static actually affects, sensitive equipments like mGuard, and of course the RD is also an equipment. So basically it affects a lot of different equipments like your TV, your detectors just get affected by static. So do not get panic, every time when we do the demonstration, do not get panic when you're experiencing certain blind spots. When you're standing in certain position, your detector begins to beep within the coverage area. Just have to move along your feet, just wear socks if you can, At the same time, if it's best, if let's say you have this rubber Crocs, sandals, that might help. Okay, that might help as well. Okay, so Ben's going to show you.
Yeah.
Okay, if you notice, mGuard is right in front. Okay, mGuard is right in front, and Ben's going to place the static ball in between of the mGuard. Okay, in between of the mGuard. Okay, and Ben's going to turn on the mGuard first. Okay, let's scan your phone. Just take a piece of equipment. Just take the phone out. Okay, scan the phone.
Okay.
Just scan the phone first.
Guys. Okay, you can see while the mGuard now is off, right? So I just placing the RD9100 to my phone, so you guys can see the reading. It's beeping, right? Okay, because this room a little bit dark. Okay, so because we need to show this static ball to depends. Okay, to get the contrast. Okay, now I'm trying to turn on the mGuard. Okay, now while the mGuard is on, so it's covered until here. So I'm going to move backward, so you guys can see can cover until very far, quite far. Okay, so it's over here. Yeah. Okay, it's covered until here. So now I'm going to put the static ball behind the mGuard, so that now the static ball haven't turned on yet, so the coverage is over. So now I'm going to turn on this electrostatic ball, so you guys can see, if let's say it's on, right, it actually affect the reading of the situation of this. Okay, you guys can have a look. So even though I move away through this electrostatic area, right, I just move backward, you guys can see it's still covered. Okay, this is some technical issue on the electrostatic parts. Okay, so otherwise that the mGuard is still covered until behind here. It's just some certain parts that it may be occur that electrostatic may affect this detector beeping. So is that clear?
Okay, that's very clear, Ben. Thank you so much. Okay, so this is a
welcome.
simple demonstration to show you that when there is a static situation, although it is within the coverage of mGuard area, the detector might get affected by static because the detector itself is a pretty sensitive equipment. Okay, so when it picks up static, so it's going to beep here and there. Okay, so now back to Ming. Okay, thanks a lot, Ben. I hope that this short presentation can show you all how static will affect the detector. So always make sure that move away from static if you're doing demo, okay? Okay, so next. Okay, if customer have more than one unit of 𝐿 how do you actually or correctly check on 𝐿's coverage? Okay, always remember if in your customer house there's more than one 𝐿, maybe the customer purchased 2 or 3 units, always check the 𝐿 coverage one by one. Okay, for example, your customer is having 2 units of 𝐿. One is on the second floor and another one is on the first floor. Turn on the first floor one, check around, check on the coverage, turn off the first one, and then go to the second floor, turn on the second floor units, and then check on the coverage. That is the correct way for you to check, because sometimes when you turn on 2 𝐿 at a time, there's a little bit of interference and it will affect the detector to beep here and there. So for the correct way for you to check 𝐿's coverage is by turning on one unit and then check, turning on another unit and then check. Okay? So the next one, how to hold detector correctly, because detector is a very sensitive item. So as you can see from the donut ring itself, there's a lot of copper coil and in the donut ring. So try to not hold the detector on top of the head. For example, this is a few way that is incorrect for you to hold detector. It's because when we hold the copper ring that time, our body is a very good conductor of static. So if you hold like that, it will affect the reading of the detector. So try to avoid all of this position. Okay, this is the correct way for you to hold. Hold it beside. Where's the detector? Okay. So this is the correct way for you to hold the detector. As you can see beside, there's a grip beside. So it means for you to hold it like that. Okay, try to avoid hold anything on top of the copper coil area. Okay, so comes to the detector. Detector is a very sensitive item. So always take good care of your detector because it's very hard for you to find. Okay, first of all, after every time you use your detector, always remember to put inside this PE bag and then seal it up. Okay, it's because detector, there's a lot of copper coil, you don't want to wet it. So always put inside this PE bag. And always remember that inside the PE bag, there's a silica gel, a very small pack of silica gel. It will absorb the moisture inside the PE bag to make the PE bag clean, okay? So whenever, if you see the silica gel in the PE bag turns to pink color that time, pink color, because this one is like, you know, translucent. So whenever turn to pink color that time, meaning that this moisture is already in a maximum. So you can throw it away. You change a new one. You can buy it anywhere else, like in Mr. DIY, you can buy a full pack, like 100 pack for a few ringgits only. So buy the new one and then put inside the PE bag to keep the moisture out away from the PE bag. Okay, secondly, detector, you try to store your detector in a room temperature. Do not always remember that do not leave your detector inside your car after doing demo, because some of distributor, after they're doing demo already, they put inside the car, they went for lunch, they go out, they park outside. And in Malaysia, and I believe in other countries also, the sun is very hot and the temperature is very hot inside the car as well. So sometimes when you forget, you put inside your car, it will hurt the detector also. So always try to remember, take your detector along with you back to your home, or if you want to go out also, bring the detector along with you, okay? And then this detector is not waterproof. So try not to wet it. Like for example, if you go to customer house and you want to do demo, sometime in the kitchen, when customer is cooking in the kitchen, there's steam, or maybe in the bathroom. Bathroom, there's a water heater. You want to try out the water heater. Always remember to put your detector inside the PE bag, and then you use it like that. You use it like that to check in a moisture area, because the detector will still work. It won't affect the detector reading if you put inside the plastic bag and do a test. Okay, so this detector is not waterproof. And then when you can see from the screen, there's a battery icon pop up that time, meaning that the battery is running low. So we recommend you to always put 2 to 3 spare battery inside the box itself. Okay, inside the box itself, just for emergency case. When the battery is in low, your reading will not accurate. So whenever, do not panic. Whenever if you see that the detector reading is a bit like not incorrect, maybe it's due to the battery is low. So always change a new battery and then try it out again. Okay, we recommend you to use a Panasonic battery or a GP green cell battery. It's a 9-volt battery. We always recommend you to use Panasonic and a GP green battery. These two particular battery, we check it out already, we test it out already, it's more stable. All right. Energizer, okay, I can see from someone saying Energizer. Energizer is also good if you don't have any battery to use, you can use it, but we tested it already. It's better for you to go back with Panasonic or GP cell battery. Okay, next. Okay, body positioning is also very important. Because our body is a very good conductor, we will affect the detector reading as well. So always remember that if you're doing demo the time, try to point your detector towards 𝐿𝐺𝑎𝑑. For example, 𝐿𝐺𝑎𝑑 is at the front of me. So try to detect 𝐿𝐺𝑎𝑑 like that. Do not block the detector, like for example, like that. Do not block the detector from your body, because our body, sometimes we don't know, we absorb static, and then we will affect the detector reading as well. So always remember to point the detector towards 𝐿𝐺𝑎𝑑's direction. Okay. Okay, so next we'll go to documentation area, and this will we will show you certificates and so awards that this product have won. And at this area, we will pass back to David. David will continue to explain on the certificate area. Okay, thank you, Meng, for the clarifications and explanation for experiences when it comes to installation and also demonstration. Okay, so before we go through the documentations, I have to say this. Now, you guys will be getting some of these documentations, because currently we're still waiting for Enagic to actually screen through the documentation, and in order for them to release the official hard copy so that we can use this documentation during our demonstration or during our 𝐿𝐺𝑎𝑑 demo to your prospects. Okay, so please be patient, and I believe Enagic will update you and where to download the certifications very soon. Okay, so before we go through some of this documentation, I'm going to play you a video, and this video is what we took from Martrade Exhibition Center. So, first of all, the most important thing is documentation beats conversation. When people tell you that, how sure are you that this technology is recognized, it's confirmed, it's certified, it is safe for human use? Now take a look at this, okay? This technology is actually recognized by the Malaysian government. And this particular exhibition hall is where it's like a hall of fame, you know. It's where all the Malaysian company, you know, the big technology companies, all the way down to the SMEs and all that. This is where they display their technology. It's where they display their end product, and it is ready to be exported to area around the world. And it is recognized by the Malaysian government, and at the same time, worldwide recognition as well. Okay, let's take a look at the video. Okay. Right. So you'll be getting all these videos and also some of the slides here after the training. Okay. Please go to the 𝐴𝐻𝐺 library and you can download it from the Google Drive. Okay. Now, next slide. So basically, just to share with you, this technology is not something from yesterday. It is not born yesterday. It is not born 3 months ago, 6 months ago. No. Okay. This technology is actually developed by 4 of ex-Panasonic engineers. And one of them, he's actually the R&D director for Panasonic. Okay. He's been there for more than 3 decades, okay, with Panasonic. And the other 3 is also engineers from Panasonic, and they are there individually for more than 2 decades. So they spend more than 20 years, okay? So this is actually developed by a group of ex-Panasonic engineers, okay? And the R&D starts way back in 2009, okay, which is about 14 years ago, okay, 14 years ago. So the first award that they got from this invention is back in 2010. This is about the year we first started Kangen water in Malaysia, I think 1 year later, 2011, okay? So it's about 14 years, 13 years ago, okay? So the first award they won is under the computer radiation reducer category, and they won under the ITEX competition, okay? International Invention, Innovation, and Technology Exhibition. So that's the first award from the Malaysian government. Now, second, of course, back in 2016, eventually the engineers, they innovate and they develop the first, they call it airborne suppressing theory or techniques, where they can actually reduce the radiation not by connecting to a cable, but you can actually suppress the radiation through an airborne technology. In fact, means you can actually clear the radiation away from you. When you put the technology away from you, like let's say 3 to 4 meters in terms of radius, it will clear the radiation, okay? So that was the year they submit their invention into this Canadian invention innovation competition in Canada. Okay, it's an international. So this is where the inventors of the world, around the world, people from India, people from Korea, people from Japan, now they're going to submit their invention, their technology, their products into this particular competition. And our technology won the gold medal award for this particular technology segment. Okay, and the title for this competition is, we won it through this title, which is Reduce Electromagnetic Radiation from Electrical Appliance. Meaning it's not just from your phone, you know. Okay, it's not just from your laptop, it's not just, no, it's your electrical appliance. Now from here, we're referring to the hair dryer that you're using every day, you know, the huge LCD TV screen, your massage chair, you know, your induction cooker back in the kitchen, you know, if your wife loves cooking, and if let's say your kitchen is built with all these fancy, you know, electrical appliances like the blender, you know, the microwaves, the induction cooker, you name it, this technology has the ability to reduce the electromagnetic radiation. Okay, so that's the gold medal of what you're seeing there, right? Now, next. So the following year, before we submit the patent back in 2018, because we begin to, develop this, and eventually they're actually building this based on Dr. 𝐭𝐤𝐻𝐿's theory, on the microcirculation got affected by EMR. Remember? For those people who still remember Dr. 𝐭𝐤𝐻𝐿's, you can just put in 1 on the chat box so that I know that you guys are still with me. Okay, thank you, Leon. Thank you, Mayan, David. Okay, all good. All right, thank you so much for your responses. So because of that, back in 2017, okay, we actually submit this technology to Taiwan, and we participate in another competition. It's called International Innovation and Invention Competition, and we won the award. Okay, that this thing can actually remote distance, meaning away from you for about 3 to 4 meter radius. It has a remote distance, and it is able to speed up the microcirculation blood flow without affecting the heart rate and also the blood pressure. Okay, so this technology achieves this, okay, because it has the ability to suppress the EM radiation, and hence we have the ability to get this benefit, which is to improve the microcirculation blood flow, and with a remote distance, meaning you don't have to even touch the MGUT. You can leave the MGUT away from you for about 3 to 4 meter radius, and it still works. Okay, that's the reason why we won this award back in 2017. Okay, next. Okay, the next award is actually from USM, and we submit this back in 2020. Okay, and it's actually due through a test on the lab rats, and these lab rats also have a significant improvement from their blood circulation. Okay, without affecting the heart rate and of course the blood pressure as well. All right, so this is again certified by the University of Science of Malaysia that this thing has ability to suppress. At the same time, even the lab rats has got improvement for their blood circulation without affecting the heart rate and the blood pressure. Okay, next. And of course, remember Dr. Liu Renjie, the Taiwan ophthalmology who did a clinical trial on this. Okay, so this is the eyeball circulation blood flow, and of course we have that as a clinical trial that this device, this MGUT has ability to improve the microcirculation. Okay. All right. Next. And last but not least, now talking about SGS. So SGS is actually the world top 5 laboratory testing facilities available around the world. So besides TUV Rainland, now we're talking about TUV Rainland, we're talking about ISOs, then we're talking about BV, Bureau Veritas. Now these are the prestigious testing laboratories made available around. Okay, so SGS is one of them. It's originally from, the HQ is actually from Geneva, it's from Switzerland, and they actually branch out to around the world. They have labs in Taiwan, they have labs in Singapore, in Hong Kong, not to mention in US and stuff like that. Okay, so now when your product go through SGS, meaning the lab is going to test on based on safety, based on the functionality, based on the efficacy of, will it affect the functionality of other devices around it. Okay, so they actually go through a very stringent string of testing, and eventually this particular MGUT by Enagic obtained this certification from SGS based on FCC, which is the US standard, and CE is actually the European compliance standard as well. So MGUT, in short, it is safe, it is functional, and it won't affect in terms of human use. At the same time, it won't affect the other devices or gadgets around you. It won't affect your phone, it won't affect your Wi-Fi router. Okay, so it is that good. So this is as good as the WQA standard in the water industry, for the electronic gadgets like MGUT. Okay, and of course, the last point, another strong documentation is that, for those people who are still, puzzled out, or maybe they have doubts whether this technology is genuine, is this a scam and stuff like that, rumors is going to spread around. People talk about this, it's too good to be true. If this is so good, then the inventor could be winning the Nobel Prize and stuff like that. Now, let me just clear the air here. If I were to put all of you here in Zoom, there is 140 participants left in the Zoom. If I were to put you into a perspective, now a fake technology will never obtain its patent, period. That's simple. Because when we submit a technology and when we submit into the patent, especially for MGUT, because we have been submitting into 3 different patents. The first one is, of course, Malaysia. followed by US, and another one is China, because we need to prevent, reverse engineering and copycats from China. That's the reason why we are submitting the patent, and that was done back in 2019. Now, a fake technology, okay, or toy can never get its patent, and I can't be more proud to tell you that we obtained the patent end of last year. So they submit back in 2018 towards the end, and it took the patent organization some years to do their research, to put 𝐿Guard through tests, to verify it through laboratory tests, and eventually they they award this technology with an official patent, and it's been released. Okay, so we actually registered back in my IPO, and we obtained the patent officially. And timing, we are talking about timing. So as soon as they obtain the patent, this is where it attracts Enagic's attention, and this is where it attracts Mr. Oshiro's attention. And because these engineers, they are from ex-Panasonic, they have got very strong Japanese influence in terms of building this technology. And this is how we get this collaboration between Enagic, a multinational company, doing Kangen water together with this. So it's actually a collaboration, and they got the sole exclusive distribution right globally for this particular technology segment. Okay, so everything is about timing, and this is how they came together. All right. So I think up to this point, I believe that me and my team, we have concluded, this is actually the nutshell of the entire 𝐿Guard technology. It's not rocket science, but you just have to go through the same training. It's recorded, by the way, you can get the same training. It's not rocket science. Just go through the training, maybe 2 times, if not 3 times, because I see people typing, I don't understand that video, this video. It could be due to translation purposes. But when you revisit this particular information, when you revisit this particular training for about 3 to 5 times, now I believe everyone in this room will have the ability to master whatever we have for you today. Okay? Because I myself, I'm just an ordinary chap like you. I'm not even a PhD, I'm not a doctor. I'm not even an engineer, okay? But it took me 5 years of hard work to research into this particular topic, to work very closely with the developer of this technology. And this is how me and my team able to compile whatever we have for you today, okay? So we're giving you our 5 years of hard work into a nutshell, and in these 2 hours. And I hope that this training doesn't bore you. I hope that all of you here, you gain massive value through this particular training, okay? And I'm going to pass back to Nicholas. And if let's say you gain massive value, all right, just go out there, share the good news. And this is our slogan: change your environment, change your life. This is why we built 𝐿Guard. That's the purpose, okay? We are there to change the environment. Okay, thank you very much. And let's pass back to Nicholas.
Wow, that is super awesome, man. I was like, cannot fall asleep. Cannot fall asleep. So paying attention. So can I have you guys, if you benefited so much of David's presentation and Ming's explanation, I want you to put a word power. Type power. I just don't want to type one word. Power for David and Ming. So let me also type POWER, power. Yes. Yes, thank you guys. Thank you. Ming and David, and also Ben, thank you guys so much for taking the Sunday evening, Sunday evening. You guys can go for pak toing or can go for family time, but you guys chose to be with us to explain. Amazing. Thank you guys so much. All right. So Sam, do you have anything add on?
Well, question Q&A now. So for those people
Yes,
who
Q&A. Do you want them to?
Yeah, for those people who actually type in their questions, right? Can you please retype all your questions there so that it'll be easier for David to address them, or any of us to address them.
Okay, first of all, before we proceed with the reading out of Q&A, I saw that Mr. SK Tan is online. Mr. SK Tan. Okay, Mr. SK Tan, I remember that you actually forwarded a question, a very pertinent question about the technical, about the speed, and also about the lagging of this. So we actually got the answer back from the engineering team. Okay.
Thank you.
Yes, I would like Benedict to share screen. Can you share that particular PDF folder sent by the engineering team from the 𝐿Guard? and to address SK's question first beforehand.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome, Mr. SK.
And actually, I have another 3 questions, which is very much challenging one. So I need this thing because it's important to me to be able to convince those industry.
SK, can you please
Yeah.
type your question, because if we have people asking the question, it's going to take a long time. Can you just type it into the chat box, please?
Okay, I'll try.
Thank you so much.
Thank you,
Thank
SK.
you.
Thank you. Thank you, SK. Ben, are you available to share the PDF?
Oh, Ben. Is Ben around?
Yeah, Ben is doing something. So you guys can type your question, but bear in mind, just in case we might have missed out 1 or 2 questions, please don't get angry. Please. So we are human. We make mistakes, you know, sometimes we miss out. So don't worry, come back again and again to learn. So is Ben still ready, Meng?
Let me check with Ben. Just a
Yeah.
moment.
Meng and David, some of the questions which is on the chat, all right?
Yeah.
See if we can sort of answer it on the chat itself. So, you know, so we will save a bit of time, because I think some of us want to get off to do. I got a dinner
All right.
to do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. So SK, we will attend to you later, and if possible, I will WhatsApp you the PDF explanation, because it's very technical and you can take a look at yourself. All
Good,
right.
thank you. Thank you.
Okay.
Thank
Now
you.
let's go through some of the questions before we end today's session. Oh, is this the
Oh,
screen
Ben
sharing
is
by
having
Ben?
a screen. Yeah.
Okay, Mr. SK, you can take a look first, but we will be forwarding you this copy, and this is actually what we got from the engineering team. It's actually 4 of our formulas, and in short, they're actually trying to explain to you that there's no lag, and you read it for yourself, because I'm not a PhD. Okay, so this is for you, Tan. I just want to tell you that we take your questions seriously, and this is how we respond to our people in terms of support. So these are all the responses from the engineering team, and I'll be forwarding this to you, Mr. SK. All right.
Okay, thank you.
All right. Okay.
Send to me
cool.
by WhatsApp. Thank you.
No problem. Ben is going to send to you later. Okay, let's address some of the other questions from the chat box before we conclude today's amazing training. Okay. So when's available outside of Malaysia? How can non-Malaysian buy? Sorry, baby, because basically I'm here to address the question when it comes to maybe 𝐿GUT's technicality, but I think this is more towards Enagic's administrative process. Okay, so maybe what you can do is you can refer back to Enagic office for this particular question. Okay, will the RD9100 be produced more quickly? It's kind of Jeremiah's question. It's kind of can I look at the chat itself? Is blocking. Hard to show the demo. Okay, I understand that, you know, RD it plays a very important role, and I believe that, you know, the team is working very, you know, hardworkingly, you know, to get it out, because prior to Enagic taking part of this project, the RD9100 is not a highly sought after device. Okay, there's reason why, you know, suddenly there is this huge demand and there is a shortage of this particular gadget in the market. I understand, but I believe the team is working very closely to actually get it, you know, done in a quicker manner. Okay, so what's the lifespan of 𝐿GUT? You can refer back to the slides, the training slides, and the minimum lifespan is 5 years, you know, just to address that question. Now, when we talk about lifespan, means not to say that after 5 years, immediately 𝐿GUT stopped working. No, it doesn't work that way. Okay, so what happens after 5 years is that the effective range, we call it effective range of 𝐿GUT. So originally it's 4 meter radius. Now, when we say about 4 meter radius, this is actually the minimum coverage. Okay, certain area your 𝐿GUT can actually cover even more. For those people who owns 𝐿GUT, you know very dearly, you know, it can actually cover up to 6, 7, you know, in fact 8 meter radius. Okay, so after 5 years, this is what happened. The range, the effective range will slightly shrink to maybe 3.5. Then eventually after 7 years, 8 years, 3 meter, then eventually it became smaller and smaller. So this is due to the wear and tear of the component. Okay, it is very common in terms of, the router technology, like your phone, even your phone, your phone can't last you for more than 5 to 6 years because the memory is going to get full, the battery is going to deteriorate, and you need to change to a new phone, after 5 or 6 years. Okay, so it happens the same thing, it's a wear and tear. All right. So what other questions we have? Let's see. Okay. There are many patented products out there. Okay, Jason Nong's question. There are many patented products out there, can improve microcirculation. How does 𝐿 compare with these other devices? Very good question. So to answer Jason's question, there are many patented products out there that can improve blood circulation. Okay, and from what we understand, a lot of products there, it requires close body contact, meaning you have to hold the product. The product has to be very close to you. Or some of them, they're actually using infrared technology to heat up certain parts of your body, or to trigger the ATP from your blood itself to trigger this microcirculation. Okay. Now, why 𝐿 is unique? Because 𝐿 do not trigger anything from your body. It do not instill anything from your body, or do not put anything. It do not add anything. Tambah. People say 𝐿. It doesn't add anything to trigger the microcirculation. Okay. Instead, according to the Taiwanese award we won back in 2017, 𝐿 has the ability, remote distant, meaning remote distant means away from you. Okay, remote distant, to speed up microcirculation blood flow through the suppression of the EM radiation around you. Okay, so that's the difference between 𝐿's patent and the other technologies patent, where you need to sit on this thing to recharge yourself, or in infrared machines and stuff like that. Okay, I'm not going to mention names, but you know the products out there, and this is the difference. Okay, you don't have to touch 𝐿. Okay, is 𝐿 a Malaysian product? To answer you, 𝐿 is built in Malaysia. Okay, and these engineers, they have very strong Japanese influence because they used to work with Panasonic for more than 20 over years. Okay, so it is from Malaysia because it's in Matrade, of course, definitely, and of course this is also a Malaysian built product. Okay, so that's the answer for that question. What is the technology difference between 𝐿 compared with 𝗦𝗺 from US? Tommy. Okay, now I have no idea how it works. When you speak about 𝗦𝗺, because I'm a representative of 𝐿, but throughout the years, throughout this particular 6 years of our research and stuff like that, we have been exposing ourselves to different so-called anti-radiation machine. Okay, so I believe 𝗦𝗺 works in its own way. There is a theory behind it. It is built by a professor from Germany. Okay, so I'm not here to belittle other technology, because we have to respect each and every one. Okay, it works in its own way. But why 𝐿 is different? Because I can tell you that with 𝐿, the developer is claiming that the effective range of clearance in terms of electromagnetic radiation is between 3 megahertz to 1000 megahertz. And you don't see this particular range or statement in any other technology around the world. That's the unique selling point of 𝐿. I'm going to repeat myself. Okay, now other anti-radiation products out there, they say that they are clearing the radiation within this effective range through whichever theory that they're using. Okay, so it's actually based on wording. It's actually based on certain, I would say, scientific theory. But for 𝐿, the developer is stating the effective clearing range between 3 megahertz to 1000 megahertz, which is below 1 G. So with 𝐿, we state that this is the range because we have the lab test, laboratory confirmation, and that's the difference between this technology versus other technologies around the world. Okay, and this technology, you have got demonstration. Okay, other technology, maybe they sell through paper, they sell through certificates, they show you. But over here with 𝐿, if you notice, we've been showing you 2 different demonstrations. Okay, the first demonstration is actually through the LD9100, which is the detector. Okay, the high frequency electromagnetic noise detector. Okay, now the second demonstration is actually through a third-party software. We call it the standard defined radio. Remember the demonstration we do through the LED light bulbs? So that demonstration also shows that 𝐿 has the ability to suppress the noise from the LED, the radiated noise. from the LED light bulb. So through 𝐿Guard, you can see, there are demonstrations showing you how it actually reads. As compared to the other products, maybe they actually sell through brochures, they sell through certain description from the website, but there is no actual demonstration being shown. Okay, so that's the answer for that particular question. What is the patent name and number? Okay, Enagic is going to pass you this info, okay, when we go, because this is only the launching stage, and please give Enagic some time to finalize the documentations, and Enagic will be the one who release such information on or through the website. Okay, please be patient with Enagic. Okay, now we have tons of questions. I'm going to try my best to go through one by one. If living in the studio and have static charge covering the room, will 𝐿Guard be efficient? Now, basically, if you put 𝐿Guard in the middle of the studio, for example, you're in the studio, just put it in the middle, make sure the 𝐿Guard is on the box, to avoid 𝐿Guard from directly exposing to the ground or to any surfaces on the flooring, then it could be sufficient to cover up, let's say, a minimum of maybe 90% of the entire studio, because I do not know how big is your studio, but 𝐿Guard is good. As long as you measure 4-meter radius, in diameter is about 8 meters, then you are good. Now I'm going to give our Zoom friends today, or Enagic family today, a very good tip. Now, your customers will always expect the 𝐿Guard to cover the entire house when they buy one. Correct now? Anyone here experience this? They expect to buy one 𝐿Guard, and the 𝐿Guard will cover the entire house. Let's say the house is 4,000 square feet. If I buy one, so people will always want to get the maximum value, okay, from whatever they buy. Okay. Now, the solution to tackle this, now to be honest, right, 𝐿Guard is not perfect. Okay, when you put the 𝐿Guard in the center of the house, it will never cover 100% of the entire house, because certain house is so huge, it's too big, and where to put it. Now, a common tip to share with you is that whenever your customer expect 𝐿Guard to cover the entire house, this and that, always advise your customer to place 𝐿Guard where they spend the longest hour in a single day. This is a tip, okay? An 𝐿Guard, one 𝐿Guard can never cover 100% of the entire house, can never, okay? Due to certain factors like maybe aluminum frame, stuff like that. I believe Nicholas will have the same experience because of that, frame, the aluminum frame for your daughter's room. So my advice to Nicholas that it's same thing. Place 𝐿Guard where you spend the longest hour in a single day. And this will ensure that you get maximum value from one single 𝐿Guard. That's it. It's that simple. If you spend 8 hours in the bedroom, place 𝐿Guard somewhere near the bedroom. Okay? If you spend 8 hours in the office desk, place 𝐿Guard somewhere near to your computer table or your office desk. It's that simple. Okay, it's portable. It's light. It's not like 𝐿Guard is 50 kilograms. It's very hard for you to move around. No, 𝐿Guard is just less than 500 grams. It's so light that you can actually move around. So place 𝐿Guard where you spend the longest hour in a single day. So that's a tip for everyone. Okay. Okay. Future development from Shivaraj. Is there any increase in range? Now, in order for you to increase the range, you have to actually increase the size of the 𝐿Guard as well. So it's actually not advisable, because we want something to be portable. You want to carry 𝐿Guard around, put in the knapsack. You want to install the 𝐿Guard in the car. So if let's say you want to go on a wider range, means we have to drastically increase the size, and it would be too heavy for a single lady to even carry around. Okay, so we can't achieve that, to answer that question. Okay, so Mike is asking, anyone knows what's the name of the app used in the video? It's called it's called Software Defined Radio, SDR. Okay, so Ben is going to share with you the app name on the chat. Okay, so it's called SDR. Okay. Okay. Escape. 𝐿Guard convenience. Can we move the 𝐿Guard from downstairs to upstairs daily, as may not be practical to put? Can we move the 𝐿Guard from downstairs to upstairs daily, as may not be practical? This is asked by 𝗦𝗺 to put it on stairs. Definitely, you can move around. Okay, it's portable. You can just unplug the adapter and move around. Okay, no problem. All right. What's next? Okay, we have a break, 5 minutes. No, that's someone's. Okay. Okay. What else? May I know? Wait. In worst case, wait. No, not this one. Okay. What if? Okay, let's look at Dan SK's question. Number 1. What? How could? Wait, hold on. Sorry, guys, because the chat box is packed and it's jumping around. Okay, hold on. Okay, so what happens if 𝐿Guard breaks down? Does it produce interference signal or cause trouble to other systems like PLC, sophisticated device? What happens if 𝐿Guard break down? Does it? Okay, first of all, now you must understand that 𝐿Guard do not release, the cancellation frequency constantly. Okay, now the first function of 𝐿Guard is 𝐿Guard first analyzes its effective range of 4-meter radius. Then if let's say it detects a frequency of, let's say, 244 megahertz, okay, and then 𝐿Guard will release another opposing amplitudes to counteract with that particular frequencies within its effective range. Okay, so when you say that 𝐿Guard breakdown means if 𝐿Guard breaks down, it won't be releasing any cancellation frequency. So hence it will never affect whatever sophisticated devices that you mentioned over here, because if it's breaking down means it's not releasing anything as well. At the same time, 𝐿Guard is not built to so-called disturb the other functionality of the gadgets, because now in order for you to obtain the SGS report, the SGS certificate, 𝐿Guard cannot build to disturb the functionality of other devices like your phone, okay, for instance, or maybe your induction cooker, okay, or your laptops, certain components. So we cannot do that. If let's say we do that, means we cannot obtain the safety seal from the SGS. Okay.
David, there's a question which is at time. I just saw it. What happened? Time 4:21 from Justin Chiu. He asked, can we use RD9000 if we cannot secure RD9100?
Okay, now to answer that question, now RD9000, for me personally, I haven't used that before, okay? But I've actually consulted some of the older users of 9000, and I found out that RD9000 has the same spec, the exact same specification as RD9100. Okay, but the label is different because it's 9000 and 9001 is the latest model, of course. But the technical spec in terms of measuring the electromagnetic noise is similar. Okay, so it's actually between 3 megahertz to 1000, and it also has a 1 dot function which measures the 50-60 hertz. So to answer that question, it is usable for 𝐿Guard demo. But, okay, listen carefully, the catch is but, okay? But because RD9000 is built way back, I would say maybe back in year 2014. So it actually goes way back 9 years ago. And when your detector is that old, okay, 9 years old, that detection ring, this particular ring itself, because this ring is built with enormous amount of copper coil, okay? So when your detector is that old, the oxygen might oxidize the coil, and your detector might not be as accurate or as sensitive as when it is new. Okay, it's like old car lah. Okay, it's like old car. So when you use that detector, definitely when you put a new battery, if you notice that when you detect and the reading is not going your way, means the 9000 model, it's not working properly because of oxidation from the copper coil itself. Okay, so you have to take note on that.
Yeah, David, you are right. So even a new battery, the sensitivity a bit lesser. For example, our phone is overload 1, and the RD9000 measurement about 1000, 5006. It will not go to overload. It's a bit less sensitive, probably due to the oxidation of the copper coil.
Yes, correct. Okay. Now, question number 2 from SK. I believe 𝐿Guard also produce radiation and how it overcome. Number 3, okay. To answer that question, number 2 from SK, 𝐿Guard produces electric field radiation, definitely. Okay, now all gadgets connected to an AC socket, for example, your hair dryer, your laptops, you name it. As long as you charge your phone, your TV, it produces a certain amount of electric field radiation. Okay, now that low amount of electric field radiation actually captures between the bandwidth of about 50 hertz to 60 hertz, which is very low, and that amount, it will not actually penetrate through the human body. Okay, 50 to 60 hertz electric field radiation will be blocked by your skin, and it will never penetrate through the human body. Okay, now can I show you a short demonstration to show you what I mean by that? Okay, so what I have here is this is actually the RD. Okay, and I'm going to switch the RD to 1 dot, and 1 dot represents a very low electric field reading, okay, from the socket itself. Okay, so it's actually working between 50 to 60 hertz. You can just check behind the box. Okay, SK. Now I'm going to move my camera because I'm actually in a home setting. Let me move my camera to this particular socket area. Okay, I hope that you can see here. Okay, you can actually see from here, SK. Okay, for your benefit. Now I'm going to detect using the 1 dot setting. This is 1 dot, this is 1 dot setting. If you notice, right, as long as there is power socket around here, it starts beeping. Okay, so there you go, power socket. Now, but however, if you notice, right, SK, I'm trying to put my detector now against my phone. If you notice, this is on the 1 dot setting. Okay, against my phone, you will never pick up because this is actually the low radiation setting. So that's the reason why it's not beeping. So this particular function only reacts to the low frequencies from the electric field socket here. Okay, and it will never affect you because 𝐿Guard is producing this because it's connected to AC. But this radiation is easily blocked by, you look at this. I just put my palm in between of the socket and the ring. The detector goes to 0. Okay, if I remove my palm, it comes back again, see? Okay, so 𝐿Guard produces this, but it is not harmful because your skin has the ability to block it. So it's not, okay? So don't worry about this. And let's move the camera back to the table. Okay. We have to be creative, you know, because Zoom, we need to just move around a bit. So question number 3. 𝐿Guard working on 0.5 and covers up to 8 meters. Okay. How about increase to 1 that can help to improve coverage? Okay, so that's your question number 3. Can we improve the power output so that the coverage also gets improved as well? Now, to answer your question, SK, according to the developer, okay, the coverage range is dependent on the antenna coil they installed around 𝐿Guard. How they do it, I don't know because it's trade secret, okay? But it's actually very dependent on the coil itself, which is how they rope this particular antenna around 𝐿Guard. And according to the developer, it's not because of the power, but it's because of the amount of they call it cycle, okay, coil per cycle. So because of 𝐿Guard's size, okay, it's limited. So the range is not depending on the power output, but it's actually depending on the size itself. So in order for you to, let's say you double up the size, means you have to make 𝐿Guard that big, okay, into this big box, okay, in order for you to increase the range. And I believe this is not what we want, isn't it? Because it's heavy, it's not portable. So yeah, so that's the answer for your particular question. Okay, I hope I answered your question. And I still owe you the PDF scientific explanation from the engineering team. My team will forward to you after this. Okay. Okay. Next, Jason Ong. Which WHO statement indicates that non-ionizing EMF is carcinogenic? The one we have during our normal 𝐿Guard's presentation. But to address this question, right, Mr. Jason, WHO never mentioned that non-ionizing is carcinogenic. Let me repeat myself. WHO press release back in 2011, they never mentioned that non-ionizing radiation is carcinogenic. Okay, to put you into a proper explanation, they only mention that electromagnetic field is possibly carcinogenic to human. Possibly means under group 2B. Okay, it is not yet classified as group 1. Group 1, like tobacco smoke, it is properly classified as group 1, means it's carcinogenic, it's confirmed. That's the reason why you are seeing these irritating images on the cigarette pack. Okay, that's under group 1. So WHO never mentioned that EMF is actually carcinogenic. It only mentions that there's a possibility that it increases the rate of glioma, which is a malignant type of brain cancer. Okay, so far cannot find conclusive data, EMF carcinogenic, kindly clarify. So there you go. Even for the book Killing Cancer Not People, okay, they are telling you that there are studies out there talking about this EMF and there is a possible connection. Okay, there's a possible connection. But of course, you can never get a confirmation because the government and the world is talking about EMF, okay, and non-ionizing radiation will not have adverse effect on the human body. Okay, so to give you clarity, it will not have adverse effects to your biological being, okay, when you're exposed to low level of radiation. This is how they form their research, okay? So the authorities is telling you that non-ionizing radiation will not have adverse effect to your human body. Okay, if let's say you're exposed to your phone or your computers at a low level exposure. But this is a question of choice. Okay, you can ask yourself, how many hours are you holding these gadgets per day? Is it 5 minutes or is it 5 hours in average per day? Okay, and then you ask yourself another question. You can ask your customer, although WHO say that it is only possible, okay, it is not confirmed. But when you hold your phone like this for 5 hours a day for the next 10 years, what's going to happen? It is as good as taking a pack of cigarettes, you know, one by one, you know. One cigarette won't kill us. A pack per day won't kill us. But a pack a day for the next 5 to 8 years might be doing something to your lungs, okay? Because non-ionizing radiation affects us not immediately, but over time. You have to give it time to develop. All these different radiation sickness takes time to develop. Okay, maybe after 2 years, after 5 years of listening to your phone like this, some people might have developed certain problems with your ear, you know. It could be due to some vertigo issues, you know, because you're doing this constantly, every day for 5 hours, you know, maybe less than that. Maybe you talk on the phone for an hour a day. Those people who are in sales, you do this, right? Okay, you do this every day for 1 hour, ritually for the next, let's say 2 years. Okay, so some people, they might develop certain things, okay? So that's the answer for that question. Is it necessary to buy 𝐬𝐲 to start? Okay, I can't answer that because this is a business question. I'll leave this question to you to ask your immediate sponsor. Okay, from Ong, do we need to off the 𝐬𝐲 once in a while so that it can rest? Now, 𝐬𝐲 is built to work 24/7. Okay, it's like your router is built to work 24/7. You don't have to switch on, switch off. But of course, it is advisable to turn off the 𝐬𝐲. Let's say you're going away, you know, for 2 weeks, you're going for a holiday in Australia. Of course, you can turn it off. But this is why I tell my people, why you want to turn off the 𝐬𝐲 for 2 weeks? Carry your 𝐬𝐲 along, bring it to Australia, you know, while you're having a holiday. Install it in your hotel room, okay? So it is built to work 24/7. Okay, from 𝐭𝐡𝐞, what will happen when at security check at the airports? Now, basically, 𝐬𝐲 is not a bomb. Okay, it is not something which is illegal, and 𝐬𝐲 is basically just a typical piece of electronic gadget, and you can just tell them that this is computer accessories. Okay, it is used to reduce certain energy from the computer, and there is no battery inside, so it is good for you to hand carry the thing. There's no issue. Okay. Okay, from Judy, sorry, I think the question just skipped, and sorry, because there is a lot of you here and it's a bit challenging for us to go through. Okay, Judy, can you use 𝐬𝐲 in the plane? Okay, the answer is definitely you can. All right, as long as there is this connector, you know. But of course, during the takeoff and the landing, when the air hostess, they advise you to switch off your phone, stuff like that, then you unpowered your 𝐬𝐲. Okay, but along the journey, let's say you're flying to US, it's a long haul flight, you know, for more than 10 hours, definitely you can power on the 𝐬𝐲 and leave it there. and your neighbors around you will thank you because they will get benefit as well from the 𝐴𝐵𝐺, okay, around it. Okay. So Mike, can you put 𝐴𝐵𝐺 in an electric car and how? Basically, you can just activate 𝐴𝐵𝐺 by using, because I don't have an EV car, so I cannot confirm whether do they have that. Sam, can you help me with that? Does the EV car have the, we call it the secret box, the USB port, right? Okay, so I think as long as they have that USB port channeling out energy and it's working at DC 5 volt, definitely you can power the 𝐴𝐵𝐺 in the electric vehicle, yeah.
We can ascertain that by anyone here has a Tesla?
Tesla or
electric car?
Okay.
BYD, you know.
I would like to share, I tested the BM 1X fully electric car. The
Okay.
𝐴𝐵𝐺, we have to position in the center of the car. If you put in front, the back sheet still, at the rear seat, still measure overload. Very strong radiation. So I had to move the 𝐴𝐵𝐺 through the center of the car in order to have a full coverage.
Okay. Thanks, Anthony, for sharing. Very, very valuable information. I think that one's the iX model, right? The BMW iX model is full electric, yeah. Okay. All right. 𝐴𝐵𝐺, okay. So Ben answered that question. Okay, thanks, David. All right. Move forward. Okay, I think that's about it. All right. So for those people who wants to download the slides, you know, the videos that we have created, Sam's going to share with you the our Telegram channel. Okay, that we have got this particular Telegram channel link where you can subscribe, and we'll be putting the all these informations, and it's available in our Google Drive link. So when you click inside, we have actually segmented the informations. You know, we organize it. There is the Mandarin files, and there's also English files. So both presentation and training slides and all the videos, it's available. Okay, it's available.
David, I think
Okay.
you probably have to go through from 421. Make sure that all the questions are answered.
Okay, hold on. We got another one from Dr. Mijim. Can we use the power bank to power the 𝐴𝐵𝐺 in situations where there is no? Definitely, doctor, you can use the power bank to power up 𝐴𝐵𝐺. Okay, if let's say there is no electricity location. The reason why we say that, you know, it is not advisable to use power bank because some people, when you power up the 𝐴𝐵𝐺 using a power bank, the range, the effective range of the 𝐴𝐵𝐺 will get shortened. Okay, slightly get shortened or reduced. And as compared to when you power the 𝐴𝐵𝐺 using a proper adapter through a proper electrical socket. Okay, but of course, definitely you can power up the 𝐴𝐵𝐺 using a power bank. But just to inform you, doctor, currently, I think there is this new version of power bank where they have this auto cut-off function. Meaning, if let's say when they detect that you're trying to power something with no battery and it's not charging that particular device, the power bank is going to automatically cut off the power supply to that particular USB output. Okay, so 𝐴𝐵𝐺 has got no battery, it's not rechargeable. So when you use power banks like this and when you do the demo, sometimes when the power bank automatically cut off the power, then of course 𝐴𝐵𝐺 is not working without any power. So that's the only thing that you need to take note. Okay, when you select a power bank, okay, so you just make sure that the power bank has got no auto cut-off function. Ask the seller, you know, and get clarity before you buy the power bank for this particular 𝐴𝐵𝐺.
David, I think there are some questions which has been unanswered. Like, you must start from 421. You gotta go back. There's a lot of questions you didn't address.
Okay, let's go back.
421.
Okay. SK's question done. All right, so you stop. Marie, can we use other device or detector instead? The one you have the demo warranty as standard 1 year. Yeah, the warranty is 1 year from the factory standard. So anything happens after 1 year, the parts are replaceable. So it's repairable. Okay. can we use other device or detector instead? Currently in the market, you know, in our 5 years of experience, besides the RD, I think none of them so far that we can actually find that they can effectively test the high frequency electromagnetic noise. Okay, so to answer you, it's either you get the older version of the RD, which is 9000, or the current version, which is the 9100. And another way to actually test efficacy is through the software, which is the SDL dogger. But that's a bit technical because you need to hook up, you need to learn how to maneuver that particular software. So we have got 3 options now: the previous version of the detector, the current version, the 9100, and of course the SDL software, which is a bit technical, but you can use that to show the efficacy of 𝐿 as well. The lifespan of the RD. I have no idea on the lifespan, okay, for a question from Wushu, because basically RD is not from us and it's from a third-party manufacturer, but I've been using my particular RD for 6 years. Okay, I've got one RD, which I've been using for 6 years, and recently only it break down. Okay, after 6 years, because I've been doing testing around KL, I've been flying around. I did the same test in Vietnam. I was doing the test in Singapore. I've been running around. So it recently just broke down on me after 5.5 years of usage. Okay, because I'm a heavy user. So lifespan, I don't know. Proper can maintenance, you put in the PE bag and stuff, I think it can last you for a good 5 years. No issue. Yeah. If 𝐿 spoil after the warranty period, I think I just answered that. It's repairable. Parts are replaceable. From Mayin's question, where is the RD made? Not in Malaysia. RD is not, no. According to the box itself, the importer of the RD is actually from Kowloon, Hong Kong. And we have actually contacted this many years back before the COVID-19, because after COVID-19, this importer is no longer around. Okay, the end of business after COVID. So it's actually from a factory in China. Okay, so this is actually built in China. And the original PCB board technology, according to the developer, is from Israel. Okay, so it's not from Malaysia. Okay, Jasper. Question from Jasper. Does harmonic frequencies able to penetrate through wall? The answer is yes. It is able to penetrate
David,
through
the answer is
walls.
already given in the chat.
Okay.
Maybe you have to click on a button to see the answers.
No, I'm just going through the question again, so everyone, not everyone will click the replies from the
Let them
chat.
reply. Okay, the answers are all given there. Just click on the reply so that we can save some time.
Okay, all good.
So Ben has helped by saying that yes, Jasper, if you click on the reply, all right, button there, one reply, Ben has helped us by saying that yep, the harmonic frequencies is able to penetrate through wall.
Question.
Okay.
Just like the Wi-Fi signal can penetrate the wall.
Oh yeah. Anything else? We are going one by one. Okay. Electric car answered already. Okay. Okay. If switch on 𝐿 24 hours, how much TNB electricity bill? Okay. Now, based on the simple calculation, Jeremiah, from your question, because 𝐿 is only running on
You missed the early question at 426.
I'm looking at 431. Sorry. Can you enlighten me with the question, Sam?
426 by Tan SK says, I believe 𝐿 also produce radiation and how it's overcome.
Sam, we already addressed that question.
Oh, you have? Okay,
Yeah.
sorry.
Yeah, we did. SK, yeah? SK, we already addressed all your 3 questions. Okay. All right. I think the next one is the electricity bill, right? Because 𝐿 is running on 0.5, and based on our calculation from the developer, it's going to cost you about maybe 25 cents a month if you turn it on for 24/7. About 25 cent ringgit Malaysia, just in case we have got some Singaporean friends or our Filipino friends, you know, in ringgit Malaysia is 25 cents, so you can do your conversion. Okay, so it's less than 30 cents a month if you turn it on 24/7. All right. Report. Power bank done by doctor. Is the team will look for another wider range?
Power bank, Dr. Najim, I've used the the 𝐿 with power bank, sometimes it is not consistent. The light will flicker. Now the light at the 𝐿 device will flicker. So it depends on the quality of your power bank.
Okay, 𝐿𝐵. Okay, we got one. 𝐿𝐵. Why is detector beeping when 𝐿 is turned on when the person is sleeping on a bed that releases negative ion and infrared? Now, definitely because when you sleep on the bed releasing negative ion and infrared, these are all charged particles, and you need to power up that particular mattress in order for you to have that effect. Okay, so 𝐿 is actually picking up that high frequency electromagnetic noise when that particular bed is producing, that negative ion function. That definitely it will be. Okay, so because it's picking up energy reading from that particular gadget.
I think David, I think the answer is if I can just chip in. So 𝐿𝐵 is expecting the 𝐿 to neutralize the EMF from the sleeping bed. And yet when 𝐿 is turned on, the detector is still beeping. So I think, I don't know, maybe because, the signal from the sleeping bed is probably too strong, right, for 𝐿 to work.
Okay, now I get the question fully. Thank you, Sam, for that clarification. 𝐿 is turned on. Okay, now there are certain gadgets that we experience. For example, the humidifier. Okay, there's this humidifier where it releases negative ion particles, and sometimes there's another gadget where it actually the massage chair, the huge massage chair as well. Okay, then there's another. Recently I found that there's another gadget where you put your feet on this gadget and it's supposed to charge you. It's called a Qi energy charger. So it's supposed to use electricity and it's supposed to charge you and to improve circulation. So we noticed that gadgets like this, right, when you turn on the 𝐿, the detectors will still beep. And I think my team has got experience. We actually do the SDL test on that particular gadget itself, and 𝐿 is not sort of like reducing, okay, that particular gadget's EMF. So again, I would like to just explain to you, certain gadgets, they produces enormous amount or high amount of electrical charge particles, and it's actually way beyond 𝐿's efficacy to actually cover everything, like 100% everything around the house. Okay, but 𝐿 is built to cover, I would say by far, when we test all the gadgets, by far I would say very safely about 95% of all the electrical appliances has the ability to be covered by 𝐿. For example, your hi-fi, your microwaves, refrigerator, induction cooker. So far it's about 95%. But that 5% are gadgets like what you just mentioned, a bed that releases high infrared and negative ions. Because gadgets like this, it produces enormous amount of static and magnetic fields, whether you like it or not, because it's channeled through all this coil and stuff like that. So that particular static might affect the efficacy of RD, which is the detector. And that could cause the detector to beep as well. Okay, so we have to bring this question back to the engineering team and to verify whether is it because of the magnetic fields that affects the detector, or maybe 𝐿 cannot actually alleviate the radiation from this gadget because it's way beyond our coverage range. Okay,
David,
yes,
from my
Anthony.
understanding, is due to the EST, electrostatic charge, right? Particle charge. So
Right.
the other one experience is the NET4. Right now, people are using the blanket, very expensive blanket from NET4. They also
see.
release the charge actually. Like at night, when you rub, you can see the spark actually. So that create the EST charge very easily.
Okay, so it's electrostatic. Thank you, Anthony, for your input. Okay, let's go through your demo with YouTube. It shows that the sound is what influences the radiation. How about other apps and the use of the phone in other ways? Okay, I'm trying to understand Maxine's question. How about other apps? and the use of the phone. Now when you use other apps, right? What I understand is that, for example, let's say when you use a phone during a call, okay, and you're trying to turn on the speaker phone. So if let's say you're allowing the voice to come up from the speaker, it's going to generate certain noise field, or we call it waves. So it's actually through speaker. So whenever you play apps like, for example, Facebook video, when there is videos and when there is sound coming out from the speaker, so it would actually cause the same scenario, and you can use it for a demonstration. Okay, as long as there is music coming out from the speaker or there is videos playing through the apps. Okay. Can we check in baggage or need to be hand carried? You can check in or you can hand carry, no issue, because there is no battery in 𝐿. Okay, so you can actually do hand carry or check in, no issue. Okay. Okay, is the team look wider? May I know who's managing the Telegram 𝐿 official distribution channel group?
It's already answered there. A few distributors are managing it. It's
Okay,
already answered there.
okay.
All the answers are there already.
All right, all the answers are there. Okay, Pauline, at airport check-in, if hand carry the 𝐿, you need to put it through the X-ray machines. Will it affect the efficacy of 𝐿? The answer is no. Okay, no, it will not affect the 𝐿. Post the link, demo YouTube shows. Okay. All right. Why the 𝐿 does not include the power plug, Peter Wong? Very good question. I think the answer is there. Yeah, it's already there. Okay. We need special sensor connected to phone. We need a special sensor connected to the phone for running the testing app, right? Okay, to answer you, YC soon, definitely you need the antenna, okay? And you need that particular dongle, and it's available. You can actually buy it through Lazada or Shopee, okay? Definitely you need a special antenna to use the app, because the app itself will not have the detection point. You need the antenna to run the app together simultaneously. How can you protect the 𝐿 from a power spike? Okay, to answer you, Mike, you need to just install a surge protector. Or you know that there is this regulator where you can use, people buy that to actually protect very high, expensive computer CPUs. So you can actually use that to regulate the power spike for your house. Or you can just get a very good brand, you know, Belkin. They have this very good surge protector adapters. So that will also protect the 𝐿 from power spikes. David Chung. Will 𝐿 affect the performance of the electronic devices, phone, laptop? The answer is no. And to repeat myself again, if let's say 𝐿 is going to affect the devices around, means we cannot obtain the SGS safety certifications. Okay, so the answer is no, it won't affect. All right, can we, okay, Enagic, there is answers there. Jason Ong, another one at 5. Nowadays, most of us use hands-free Bluetooth earphone. According to authorities, this should reduce the EMF exposure to the body. Can 𝐿 still be useful? Hold on, let me repeat the question again. Just pull up. Where's the question? It's popping. Okay, Jason. So nowadays, most of us use hands-free Bluetooth earphone, which is, so you're trying to refer to the AirPods, right, Jason? Okay. All right, according to authorities, this should reduce the EMF exposure to the body. Can 𝐿 still be useful? Definitely, 𝐿 can be useful, because when you put the earbud, you know, next to that ear itself, we have actually do the test. When you put the RD next to the ear, and when the Bluetooth earpiece is there, it's actually spiking a reading of an averaging about 750 microwatts to about 1002. Okay, now if you want to know the reading, right, I can actually do a live demonstration here. Let me bring out my AirPod and let me show it to you using my detector. Can I have my AirPod, please? Okay, so this is a Bluetooth earphone. So I'm going to do a live demonstration to show you the reading of this particular gadget. Where's the
David,
RD?
are you using an Apple phone?
Sorry?
Are you using an Apple phone?
No, but Ming is. I'm using an
Oh, I
Android.
see.
This is
Okay.
Android. Ming is using an Apple. Yeah.
So because I was
Okay, so
wondering why.
what I'm going to do is that I'm going to turn off my my 𝐿 first. Okay, just switch it off. Okay. So what we have here is the Bluetooth earphone. Okay. So although it's Bluetooth, your hand, you don't have to touch the phone, and you can talk to your friends using this wireless thing. And of course, definitely you will reduce the SLR level because you're not touching the phone. But the earbud itself, next to your ear, is going to produce certain power density. Okay, I'm going to show it to you. Okay. So without any ear pods, as you can see, I'm going to just put the detector next to my ear. So there is no reading. Okay. So now I'm going to put, okay, hold on. Give me some time. I'm going to connect my earpods to I'm going to connect my earpods to the phone. Is it ready?
David, anything wireless is very
Yeah.
strong radiation. Even the
Yes,
wireless
correct.
speaker COVID-19 device also send a very strong signal.
The anti COVID-19 device. you mean?
Yes, it's all one reading.
The one
overload.
which is hung around the neck.
Yes, near to your heart.
Okay.
And then you test all the mic, wireless mic, all also reading one overload.
Sorry guys, I think the earpod is low in battery. We're trying to connect it, but it's sorry, because we forgot to charge the earpod.
Yeah.
Okay. So I think this demo is not doable because it's running out of battery.
I think we keep this for the next session.
Okay,
Yeah.
we can keep this to the next session. Sorry guys.
David, I
Sorry,
just want to add on, even the earphone, right? But 𝐿 definitely help because the environment, there are so many sources of radiation surrounded you actually.
Yes, Anthony, definitely. Yeah.
Okay, I think we better wrap up.
Okay.
Is Mr. Nicholas around?
All right, let's pass the floor back to Nicholas to wrap up today's training. Thank you guys for having me today. Thank you so much, guys.
Right. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. All right. The time is over. It's 5:15. Is way over. Thank you guys for keeping around. But again, please forgive David and all of us if we miss your question or we miss whatever it is or some word that are not happy. It's okay. Come again and come to a demo again and come and contact with us again and get to know more in details. Yeah. All right, thank you so much, and David.
But before we go, right, let's can we all I would like to invite everybody, right? Can you type in a rating from on a scale from 1 to 10 for the session today in terms of the value that they've gotten today? Can you type in the value that you've gotten out from today? Whether it's one is
10.
Wow, 10. Wow. Wow, David.
Awesome.
You wow, everybody 10. 100,000, 1 million there.
Oh, got 9 got 9.5
That is not perfect, man. Okay.
9.5. I like that.
Awesome. Thanks for your feedback, guys.
Awesome, guys.
Hey, I think there's something that I would like to just share with you. A phrase which I believe to be very true, which is repetition is the mother of all skills. So if you've attended this, come back again. Bring your team members here because your team members need to really fully understand. And even some of your prospects, right, who are still a bit skeptical, and some of you may not be technically competent to explain to them, this is the resource for you to use. All right. So thank you so much. Let's give a big hand to David.
David.
All right.